A wonderful congratulations to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Newborn.
Newborn.
Newborn, how are
Newborn,
you?
how are you?
I don't think Newborn is getting me.
Yes, are you getting me, Steve?
Yes, I'm hearing you. How are you?
Okay, good. I'm doing better. Thank God for life. I'm good. I don't know for you, but for me, I'm great. As long as I have breath in me, that means that's another, or if I, it's another opportunity for me to be alive and to ask God for forgiveness and great.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Thank you so much, Newborn. Thanks to the Liberian people who are following and listening to us. Folks, let's share the show. Let's share the show if you can. Let's share the show as much as possible. For those of you following us on Facebook, please help us or please ensure that you are sharing the show and you are letting us know from where you are following us. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you all from around the world. Happy to be back. Um, I'd like to say, as always, the Liberian people are the most beautiful people on earth. But most importantly, the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth. Let's share the show, please. Let's share the show, please and please. Let's share the show. We are here today for another edition. Um, and we promise, as always, for it to be enlightening, informative, interactive, conversational. You will have the opportunity to participate. No problem, my man. What ain't going on? Happy Sunday, my man. The Sunday you eat share, the kind of share when you eating it and you say I want Untu to be eating share. Look, share can look go me. I can hear you.
Yes. So you see, before you were eating your proper, we're not talking. Now we come with our own and you'll be talking. Steve, you have slowed down. Look, this time around we'll be eating some of these shites and you will see it. Every time you see one, you will say, but maybe where you get this shirt from? I need so now this shirt time now. Your proper shirt time finish.
Yeah,
So
but I guess
correct.
for you're supposed to keep us on top of things. At least, like one of our sisters asked for our measurement to make sure you're supposed to fit things now and say, you know what I mean? But men and order, they share the answer, a new thing, no, Sonny, we'll fit something for them. But you're not strategic, that's the problem.
No. Anyway, there's still room for you people. So we will think about that, and let me say we will also look in that direction. Yeah, indeed. So my people, please let's share the show. At least so that other two can hear. It,
I have people why you speaking low in that
oh,
direction. And we still got a thing here. If you
because I was looking among the listening to the just imagine my man our program for church there, all the things. But by the time I heard that in for the new appointment, my heart caught. I said no, let me go check there. Maybe my brother Steve, maybe Steve name will be there because the government is government of the Baptist and government for the Baptist. So no way that my brother Steve name will be out. But unfortunately, yeah, I answer your name. By the way,
my man, I'm not interested in political jobs in that
okay,
country. As of now, I never know. You never know the future. You can never say never. But I have no intent um, to seek any political job in that country. Um, in fact, I think it's safe, prudent to be where I'm at, to do what I'm doing. There's time for everything. You never know in the future. I would never throw away any opportunity to serve my people and my country. But at this stage of my life, at this time, I don't think I'm ready, willing, and want to get involved with that.
mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so at this stage of
And
my
I
life.
also want to join you also to say yes myself because let me remind you, it's just quite frustrating that you see people instead of them serving their country, they will do different things. The what I even witnessed on today coming from the uh, town hall, it was just quite frustrating that people pay for service and they don't easily get what they pay for. It was very, very frustrating on today. But how be it, like we always saying, indeed, sometimes if the opportunity comes, well, then that's it. But some of the major reasons why you see sometimes people are running into government is that because that, for example, you into private sector, sometimes you spend more than 10 years and you're not understanding anything at all. So just feel like maybe going to government is the only way that you get something very fast or maybe quick, So, but for me, I think I side with you. I 100% agree with you. Sometimes this thing, we shouldn't see it as a way of getting rich, instead of serving our people. By the way, Sunday is good. Today is the 17th of March. Indeed,
So
March is.
before we get to the update from Liberia, I know Cyrus is here. Before we get quickly to the update from Liberia, because we're going to get to it, let's welcome Cyrus. Cyrus, my man, what's going on this beautiful, nice Sunday? It's nice here in Phoenix, Arizona. Very, very nice. The weather is tempting. Tempting in a very positive way, where you can go jogging, where you can go running or walking. What say you, Mon? What's the weather condition over there to you guys, and what's going on?
Well, today is now a so beautiful day in Minneapolis and in Minnesota.
Mon, are you there with us?
Our weather is never perfect.
Hello.
No, I'm getting more.
Why you never hear me, dude? What's going on?
I hear you, my brother. Sorry, I hear you. No,
my brother be pay attention to the meeting business until we get to you.
Yeah, we take it with stride every day because Minnesota weather is not stable, and today is not so. It's not a beautiful day in the state of Minnesota. We are a little bit cold here. I don't know, maybe lower 20s, so it's freaking cold here. The weather might look better. You can see the sun, but don't be fooled by the sun. That's where people get sick. You think that it's hot because the sun is out there, or you see a glimpse of the sun, but actually it's really, really cold, and that's the most dangerous part. So I've been indoors for the rest of the day. I made a couple of runs this morning, but so far so good. That's about it. Nothing more.
So the time busy, eh?
Yeah.
You said the time Minnesota they're busy.
Well, it's not too busy. I mean, you won't have a lot of activities going on when it's this cold. So
yeah, so that don't kind of.
Yeah, if you get something to do out there, you can go out there. But if there's nothing, I advise you stay home, get in your basement, watch movies, find something to eat, and just relax, chill. That's it.
Yeah, Melbourne, when you hear that kind of call them more giving, it means
expecting
baby shower later on in the year because the weather there, the kind of funny weather there, it's too situational. You understand?
Let me give you this joke.
Then when I send Monk again to the book of Ecclesiastes 8:15, maybe you like because you see what you just said. So Monk, go ahead.
Let me give you this joke. There was a girl that came from Texas. She came to a party in Minnesota. I think it was a baby shower. When she hit the airport, the fresh cold that hit her from the plane, she said, "Wow, I see where there are a lot of baby showers happening in Minnesota." I said, if you're not disciplined to live in Minnesota, you will end up destroying your credit report because if you're going to monitor weather and you're not disciplined enough, then trust me, there's the wrong state to mess around because it's cold here. We can go below 20 below freezing. Hey, in Melbourne, you just think about water freezes at 0 degree, right? So imagine somewhere that is 20 times colder than a freezing ice, 20 or 25. That's how cold it can be. So I told her, I said, this is not Texas. So if you come here and you don't keep yourself together, you will end up being the next governor for the state of Minnesota. And you know what that means? You will end up spending your credit report.
Wow.
Yeah, Melbourne saying wow, with our open grown talking about
because they kind of offend. Look, my brother Bizana Monk know exactly that. Bizana Monk, I want you quickly before we move on. Maybe can you go into what maybe you just said? Because if you follow Sunday Sunday, let's just get one scripture on what you just said. Quickly go to book of Ecclesiastes 8:15.
Hey, Lord, the bijou ready again.
No, that prisoner monk. So prisoner monk is saying yes, indeed, this thing what can happen. So sometimes, Steve, because we don't like to really, we stress our life until we don't even know happiness. We don't even know when to socialize. We don't even know when to be happy. So that's by the way.
Yeah,
prisoner monk.
We click here says Ecclesiastes 8:15 says, "So I commend the enjoyment of life, because there is nothing better for a person under the sun than to eat, drink, and be glad. Then enjoy then joy will accompany them in their toil all the days of the life that God have given on this earth." Wow, that's powerful. This man is very close to the whole deaconship in the
I said that Steve can always model all of my entire hard work. What a very serious note.
Well, the thing about it is, if you thoroughly examine that scripture, first of all, the man who is credited for writing that book, if you look at the man Solomon, you see, you got to, from a territorial standpoint, examine the life of Solomon. First of all, Solomon was one of the killing king ever in the history.
Oh yeah, he bought it.
Most of you see the problem. This is the problem I have with us as Christians. We are hypocritical. We take the part that will suit us and we move.
Yes.
On. So why our sister then can get there when Solomon had
300 wives and 1,000 concubines? Imagine that.
Why did I get this? Solomon, God gave that man wisdom. Let me tell you something. The Bible refers to Solomon as the man who has wisdom.
Yes.
So that means that the man applied wisdom. You understand? So
let's move on. Forget about interpretation. Let's move. We move.
Solomon,
because this day, let me be frank with you. These day women, they don't want to even hear what you're just saying, and that's it. Actually, and you are right. Yeah, and you are right. Because let me be frank, whether you like it or not, all these people, they were choosing by God and they were loved by God. How can you want to make it look like, in fact, maybe they are bad people, what they were doing, it was not good? No. Some were good, some were not good. But at the end of the day, God still loved them.
Yeah, God still loved people for no reason.
Let me tell you something.
That's the fact.
Let me tell you something today. Let me tell you something today. Let me say this to all of the people who are listening. Somebody said that I'm wisdom. Let me say this today. Go check all the people who God called, especially in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Go check all of them. From what a guy named? From Abraham.
Yeah, the father of many nations. That the foundation right there.
The man who they get a mean to for Israel. Not only that he was a hell of a cheater, he used to sleep with prostitute, Jacob.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go down?
Even Rahab, the prostitute. Jesus took the lineage of Rahab.
Let's get into the conversation. When you look at Noah, who built it, Noah was a hell of a flipper. Noah, a hell of an alcoholic. What are you talking? Noah, I won't get it. No,
man, y'all share the show. I would discuss it.
Yeah, seriously, actually, man.
That's the first order of operation.
Let me tell you something to the monk and what a guy named. You know, yesterday afternoon, I had the opportunity to do some kind of presentation somewhere, you know, and very interesting and fascinating, even as much as I was online, very interesting and fascinating. You know, as funny as it sounds, as funny as it looks, you know, there are a lot of deception in the scriptures. Even the people that we look at as adults in the scriptures, right? Those people have some serious problem. For example, Moses had a serious problem. You know, one of Moses' major problem, which stemmed from his outbreak, most people don't understand, is the fact that the man Moses was an angry guy, but they've seen Bible refer to Moses as meek. Now, it doesn't make any sense for you to use meek in the same sentence and use angry in the same sentence. Angry people are not necessarily meek. Meek people are not necessarily angry people. But here is something that people don't get though. Do you know that Moses' the generation, the place that Moses came from, there were a bunch of angry people who killed people. So when Moses killed somebody, it was not strange to me. You just look, in psychology, we term it as the genogram. In psychology, counseling, in therapy, we term it as the genogram. In other words, what it means, we go back into your history. We find out about your roots, where you come from. When you go to the doctor and they say they're doing that medical examination, they will ask you, any diabetes in your family, any cancer in your family. They will ask you all these different questions about your parents. The reason they're asking, they want to establish some basis here. They want to know as to what we can project or predict that could probably be affecting Melbourne or his children down the line. Because if there is diabetes in the family, that means the potential or the the possibility for diabetes to exist within your children, your grandchildren, or yourself to be affected is highly possible or probable. Now, I was studying the genealogy of Moses because, Moses is one of the characters I love in the Bible, apart from Jesus and other characters, right? I was studying the history of Moses. You know the guy who is Moses' great-great-grandfather, who was one of Jacob's 12 sons. What tribe did Moses come from? And he came from the tribe of Levi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Moses great-great-great-great-grandfather, whose name was Levi. Do you know that he killed somebody? Yes, before even Moses was conceived, he killed somebody. The way I also know that man was Moses' great-great-great-great-grandfather or his ancestor, I got to know that because when you read Exodus chapter 3, chapter 2, you will find out that it describes where Moses came from. It says both Moses' mom and his father were from the tribe of Levi. Now, if they were from the tribe of Levi, that means they're Levites. Now, if they're Levites, that means you can trace the root into one of Jacob's sons whose name was Levi. And in fact, not only Levi, there was another guy they called Simeon. Levi and Simeon decided that they would go and kill someone because the guy raped their sister. And this guy who raped their sister, according to the Jewish tradition and culture, because all scriptures are written in a cultural context.
Yep.
Listen to this. All scriptures are written in a cultural context. So when your pastor comes and tells you that you go attend a church that is called Never Die, that pastor is not serious-minded. In our culture, is there anything such as never die? No. No. So if all scriptures are written in a cultural context, that means whatever Moses' great-grandfather did, Levi did. Look, let me say this. When you really study the Bible for truth, you will get to understand that even the name Israel, it was a backup plan for God, for Jacob. It was a backup plan. The first time the name Israel ever appeared was the time Jacob wrestled with God. God changed it. You remember, the Bible said the daylight was coming, and the angel, quote unquote, wanted to leave.
Yeah, and he said, "You won't leave until you bless
He
me."
said, "You won't leave me unless you bless me." Now, that blessing that was given to him, his name was changed from Jacob to Israel. However, he never used the Israel name. Jacob never used the Israel name. Go check the scriptures. Jacob never ever identified the Israel name. Let me tell you when Jacob came to identify the Israel name. When Jacob's daughter was raped, Jacob had one daughter, her name was Dinah. Dinah is not spoken about in the Bible. The reason Dinah is not spoken about in the Bible is because it was an abomination to have your child, your daughter, raped in the culture of Israel. Rape in itself was a disgrace to the father, not to the daughter, to the father. That means you, Melbourne, God forbid, you Monk and me, Steve, if we had a daughter, God forbid, in the traditional and the culture of Israel that was raped, regardless of the reason for which that daughter was raped, do you know that our name will be isolated, orchestrated, and erased from the tribe of Israel? There will be no respect on us as fathers. The only way our name can be restored according to the Israelites' tradition and culture is the man who raped your daughter had to come and marry your daughter to take away that shame. So the guy who raped Jacob's daughter, the guy was planning on taking the shame from Jacob so Jacob's name can be restored in Israel. By that time, everybody knew him as Jacob. But when they went to the night before the wedding, Levi, which is Moses' great-grandfather, and his brother Simeon, they went and killed the guy. The guy who's supposed to redeem the name of the father Jacob. They killed the guy in cold blood. Read Genesis chapter 32. You know, most of our pastor there and our people there, they don't even understand. No, possible. But let's move on to something that's interesting. So God brought in that plan. That part two plan that was already established a long time ago when Jacob was fleeing his brother, going to his uncle. God brought on that plan. That's when the part two name came. The backup plan came. Because he couldn't use the name Jacob in Israel anymore, they started to call him Israel now. That's how we got this all Israelites or the Israel that you see over there today. So Jacob, our hell about lead Jacob, man.
You know, Melba enjoying my man Steve. The man sounds. Melba enjoying my man Steve. The man is not only the simple English man. The man is versed in eschatology. The man.
Seriously, I'm back confused.
You confused.
Seriously.
The man told you he wrote a thesis and he did all in depth or deep dive into religion. So the man know exactly what he's talking about. But Melbourne, just before we get to the politics, I established a few premises on this show from the beginning as to why I'm done with religion. Religion is cultural, environmental indoctrination. It's men attempt to understand the divine. There is a difference between spirituality and religion. Spirituality is your one-on-one personal relationship with God. Religion is men's interpretation of trying to understand God. And God never created a single religion on this planet. That's why I tell people, if you go with religion, you will end up being a fanatic. If you go with spirituality, you will get closer to God. That is, you will be able to question your own belief and assumption. That's why our modern day preachers, they always want to go against you. No, even as much as I'm a Christian, there are certain teachings I must question because it just doesn't make sense. I told people, I say, if you read history, they got something they call the Council of Nicaea. That was when the Emperor Constantine decided to extract 42 books from the Bible. Yep. And was stored in the Vatican because those books were very powerful. And these are the books and esoteric knowledge that the church and the Catholic people are talking about back in the day, the Roman Empire, they used for secret society today to give themselves an unfair advantage over the rest of us. The book that we are reading, we call the Bible, that was being translated 3 to 4, I can say more than 10 different times, is not the original scripture. They are parcels, they are pieces and parcels of the original scripture because that was the whole idea of extracting both from the Bible. So, Steve, you ready to set the platform for the show today, and we take it from there. I know our audience enjoyed the conversation, but
yeah, seriously, especially those who can easily read the Bible. I think is now a great opportunity. Now read your Bible all of the time.
I want Monk to do something for us. Let's do something strange today before we get into the politics. You see, if you know, I'm not here to bash Christianity. It is your level of understanding that can make you to serve God. The way you know God, how you serve God. The way your pastor teach you God, introduce you to God. Some of you, that how you serve God. Some of you are even serving God because it's a tradition in your home. In other words, when you don't, your mind, your pa can tell you, if you not go to church, you not eat. That's a typical thing, right? So you're going to church to eat. You're not going to church to even know God. So you don't. First of all, you don't even know. Most of you don't even know why you are serving God. You don't even know why you're in church. You don't even know what Christianity is.
We don't even do home devotions. That's the first thing. We don't even do home devotions.
So so for some of you who are already casual, we're not discussing you. We're discussing serious-minded people who want to be open-minded.
Serious-minded, open-minded people.
Yeah, we're not discussing you who already position. The people who position, there is nothing you can do to change certain people. Mongo, the thing can be very interesting sometimes when I think about it, how we have been played and ignorantly we have been used. There is a scripture that I want for you to read, and this scripture will base it today. Same morning you are Christian, we'll base it today to talk about what we want to talk about. Yeah. Monk, there is a scripture in James. Most people can skip that scripture. I want for you to read it. But the way I want for you to read it, don't read it the way we can read the Bible. Because when you read it the way we can read the Bible, it might confuse people. So the first thing we'll do, we'll read it the way everybody can read the Bible, all Christians. But then we'll read it another way so it can make sense. James chapter 1. When you read chapter 1,
yeah, which verse?
Let's look at 7, 8, and 9. No, 7 and 8. Let's just look at 7 and 8.
All right, let me see. Let me open my little King James here. I love reading from the NIV. I don't know. It's very simplistic. It said that person should not expect to receive anything from God. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do.
Stop. Yeah. So you see, and how we can read it normally, we read 6.
And
we can read 6 and read 7.
Yes.
But let's read 7, then we'll read 6. Take your own time to read it, because when you rush, it will not make sense. Just take your own time. Read 7 for, and then you read 6 later.
Yes, 7. It was 7 that says that person should not expect to receive anything from God.
But then who's that person? Hold on now. Who is that person? That person should not expect to receive anything from God. Who is that person? Read 6.
Okay, let me go to 6. Just hold on one second. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the person who doubt is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind.
But who is that person that's doubting? Now let's read it. Look at it.
Wow. Let me go to verse 8. I love the NIV. Such a person is double-minded and unstable.
Such a person is a double-minded person. Yeah. So that means when Molu come on Facebook and say to you they're launching Stand, STAND, 6 years ago, he was down and whining while they were killing your children, while your children were all of them were killed. And you pass around telling them Molu, the advocate. Molu is a double-minded man. Most of your people, your politicians are double. They are very unstable. So the Bible says, all the things what they do, they will not receive nothing from God. They're not from God. They're not in your interest. That's what the Bible says. And you're Christian and you're here. Let it now. And Molu passing around today, he advocate. You're serious in our country. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. They see people who lied to you before, who were with the government, who have Molu were driving BB car passing around. They were enjoying because they're not in power now. He resigned. We'll tell you Molu the trick that they own. We'll get you the code today. These people
so maybe to just ask you and the representative Monk about that same passage. So those people sometimes that will also crime as maybe father, mother, as some of them very worth it, or we just do things just because we want to satisfy certain people.
Why you calling them mother? I didn't born you. Why you calling them father that didn't born you? Go read the scripture when Jesus ever called anybody mother. Let me tell you something. That mother, father, and other different title than daddy and the other one, it's used to get you to fall in line. It's a strategic way they've developed. When you say, oh, my father, my mother, the other person. It's look, Melbourne. Let me say this today. You know why I can use words such as Joseph Boaga is a crook? Because I want the word crook to speak to you without me telling you what he can do. So words are very important. That's why I'm careful in the words I use and I'm very deliberate in the words I use. So when I tell you, Joseph, the first time on SKTV, we announced that Joseph Boaga was a smooth crook. We use the adjective smooth to describe how crooked he is. To modify it. Not only that he's a crook, but he's a smooth crook. You know why we did that? Because psychologically we wanted to appeal to your mind and your conscience for you to know who he is. Without going into details, it left for you now. That's why when we say Joseph Boaga is a crook, some people can get there because you know what? They know exactly what we are saying. They know we are not insulting Joseph Boaga. They know we are not disrespecting him. They know it.
It's a word.
Let's take for example, Melbourne, if I want to look at you and say, so in nursing, when you go see your doctor, when you go see your psychologist, when you go see your therapist, when you go see anybody medical or whatever it is, we speak certain, even in police, in the army, they speak certain languages. They don't talk the regular talk. So let's say I want to say Melbourne came to a new environment, or Melbourne has something changed in his life, and he has different reaction and he confused and so forth and so forth. Guess what? I would give you, instead of saying Melbourne crazy, I would diagnose you as adjustment. You having adjustment disorder with mixed reaction with anxiety and depression. Now, when I say those words in the public, when somebody read it, they will be confused. But when you come to me, I will explain to you that Melbourne, certain things in your life impacting your way you can act and the way you're supposed to think and the way you're supposed to behave as a normal human being. Instead of saying all of that, I said you are having something we call adjustment disorder. It doesn't mean you are crazy. It just means that you have events in your life that are making you to act the way you are acting. So I spoke to you in a scientific way. For example, you go to the doctor will say you have a myocardial, the person has myocardial infarction. In other words, a heart attack. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Myocardial infarction means heart attack. All that big word, myocardial infarction, it just means that person has heart attack. So instead of saying heart attack, because we are trained to say myocardial infarction, while you are running around saying heart attack, we cannot say heart attack. We have to say myocardial infarction because even in the military, they're trained to give codes and so forth.
Yeah, that's why you got codes. You got codes. Coded phrases.
Yes. So you see, so that's how it works, my man. So forget about all that daddy, father, and all the things, my brother. That's the position you
They're all brainwashing the position
Exactly.
you.
That's the position to them.
Because you were trained to obey people that call you, you call daddy and
Exactly.
mommy.
Yeah, you're trained to do that. Once you start saying daddy and mommy and all the different things, you know you are supposed to subject yourself.
So be submissive. That's a whole code. That's a code right there.
So that's how they bring all these things and start calling them daddy and stuff. Even when you hear them insisting, I heard somebody look at me and tell me I'm gonna call them Reverend. I said, I'm not calling you Reverend. My man, and I got 2 Reverend to my knee. You gotta call me Reverend. I said, go in your house and tell them to call you Reverend. I'm not calling you Reverend. First of all, you don't even tell me to call you Reverend. Let me have the willpower to do that. Let me call you by your phone here. I didn't your mind page. Why you passing around with tattoo there? The tattoo not important. Do the work.
Do the work. The work will give you the title. Even the men that will practice, the men who lifestyle we emulate in Christianity, he was never carrying any title.
No.
And that's the whole idea about Christianity. Christianity is not a religion, it is a lifestyle. That's what Dr. Monroe said. We preach the gospel of Christ, but we don't preach the gospel that Christ preached. Because if we go by Christ's instruction, then it means it will almost like most of our pastors won't even exist today. Because everything that they are doing is totally contrary to the fundamental premise of Christianity. And that was the Great Commission. Evangelism and winning people to Christ and helping the poor and feeding those that are hungry. But unfortunately today it's all about the commercialization of the gospel and the signs and wonder doctrine that is what leading Christianity today.
There was a great guy in the world that contributed a lot to humanity history. I just forgetting his name. He said one day that he was almost persuaded or convinced to become a Christian. But when he looked at the way Christian living in the word of God, he refused to become a Christian. So this is to tell you we live in total contradiction and confusion of what we preach or what we say as Christians. Imagine somebody telling me, say, oh, when you do this, you will go to hell. When you do that, when you will go to hell. Excuse me. Abraham in hell? Jacob in hell? No, tell me now. No, I will wait.
Nobody can independently verify. My man, let's go to the politics.
Then they jump out and say, when now they jump out and say, oh, Jesus brought grace. And Jesus brought the grace and Jesus brought the grace. Okay, I agree, Jesus brought the grace. That's no problem. But in that same grace, then Jesus was still hanging out with prostitute there. That lie. Matthew then our tax collector there. Matthew, that was, let me tell you something. Matthew, what a hell of a crooked man. Let me say Matthew, what the guy is Zacchaeus. Matthew then a hell of a Matthew then want to put who is opposition people. The fishermen there, they can position people. Lead that thing.
Somebody, Steve.
Let's get to this.
Yeah. So quickly, I know that Sam Ricks say why they calling themselves men of God in the first place. I don't even know what I mean by that. But either I think because men of God.
SKTV.
Of God.
We don't want to have the hardcore conversation.
So quickly before we move on,
what's going on in the town? What's going on? Update us.
Yes. So
what's going on?
Yeah. So good. Thank you. I like the entire conversation we started, and we're moving on now to another level. So indeed, today is 17th of March, and there are so many things ongoing in Liberia, especially when it comes to the new appointments. You know, about 40 Liberians have been given another opportunity to serve their country through the president of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Nyuma or His Excellency Joseph Nyuma on today make additional appointment of 40 persons in government. So apart from that, a lot of happening with the World Crime Code, people giving their own views on what's going to happen if it come. If not, other people are saying no, other people are saying yes, and so forth. These are some of the happening back home, Steve, and that Representative Monk and our viewers indeed. But we are cool. Liberia is kind. The weather here is still like on yesterday evening where the rain started to fall, but later on it stopped and the weather is good here back home. With the electricity wahala, it's still the same. People are still up and on. Today they supply you today, after today they cut you off, they put another group of, or maybe community on, and so on. So yes, these are happening back home, and our people are still managing their expectations. They are still praying to God that the government do best for Liberia and Liberians. So indeed, the 100 days is approaching. I know that maybe we'll be looking at that also, but the 100 days is approaching. So far, so good. This is what's happening back
Yeah,
home.
but maybe I'm confused about some of the happening that you're presenting because seeing the president we are is asking or trying to
Oh, yes.
allocate some security EPS people to increase the number to 25 or whatever not. Um, um,
Yes, sorry. I think that came up about 2 to 3 days ago from the new party chairman of the CDC, Janga Ko. Janga Ko now is the newest CDC party chairman, and he did mention that indeed the former president requesting for about 25 EPS officer according to him, even though we haven't received any information from the president from the former president. But when he said that, then I mean it is true. But he's saying that the former president should be given 25 EPS officer for protection. So indeed, that news broke up, and Liberians were discussing it on how they feel. There are other who are saying yes, and there are other who are saying no. For what reason? Why is he requesting for that amount of EPS officer? So yes, indeed, you are right. So others are giving their views about it.
last night, I was invited to an event. I met a couple of supporters for the president, President George Manawia. We had a brief chit chat, and at that event, as I was sitting there listening to the brief chit chat, something came to mind. One of them raised the issue, the concern about, the rotation of the EPS officers, that not necessarily that the president is asking for 24 EPS officers, not necessarily that, but they have to be rotational because some of them work 3 days, 4 days, 12-hour shifts, and they need to rest, they need to get these things sorted out and so forth and all of that, right? And I thought that was rational because even on this side, people work different shifts, right? And in most states, you can work, some states 12 hours at most, some state 16, some state 18. You can work above that, right? And again, I'm not here to make the case or the claim or whatever it is. I'm just saying to look at it from a rational standpoint that you wouldn't have one set of EPA officers working on a 24 hours continuously working. So let's take, for example, if you were assigned to the president, you're working all day, all night throughout the president's term or his life or whatever it is. It's draining, it's tiring. It would even make the officers to not focus because they probably wouldn't get rest. I'm not sure if this is the context they spoke from to make this request, but that would be rational. That would be reasonable to some extent. And it's left with the current administration and the arrangements and the legal findings or the proceedings and so forth, right? For them to determine that. But let me have what is your take on that? This whole request from President Weah and all that.
Former President Weah.
Well, the whole idea about requesting up to 24, 25 EPS officer just doesn't pass the smell test for me. I don't get it. I think the number is way too astronomical, and I don't think the rationale. It might look like that. It might seem like that. Okay, yes, it makes no sense to have people working 24 hours around the clock, but you could rotate 9 guys and divide the days into 3 equal parts, first, second, and a third shift. So why would he be requesting up to 25? I mean, why you need that much of
if you're doing, let's calculate it. If you're doing first, second, and third shift, right? Yeah. You have 9 of them. So that means you're saying 3 on each shift.
3 on each shift.
If you're doing 3 on each shift.
Yes.
Now the 3, if you look at it, there could be a burnout though.
It cannot be a burnout because if you say you want to give somebody a break, like a day off, then you can say 2 groups could work 12 hours to call the 24-hour and get the other group couple of days off, and then you do the same rotation, the same way you did on the hourly basis, you can do on the daily basis. But so that one group gets at least 2 days off in the week, and that will be enough. So you don't need 25 either.
Well, that makes sense. My thing is there are a couple of things that need to be looked at. Mm-hmm. Is there something that's been done before? What is the amount of EPS officers that should be allocated to a former president or a former leader, how many people should be allocated to them? You know, we need to look at the standard first. And why is this request?
Even the great US, I saw, I think only 2 or 3 guys beyond Bill Clinton. Recently, he made some appearance in the New Hampshire for the Secret Service. I don't know why you would need 25 guys. And you said it right. Where is the standard? Where is the historical context of that? I mean, which past president would ever given such amount of men? So I don't think that is the reason. I don't. The logic here just does not hold water for me. And I believe that it got to be something way sinister than that. They would be requesting for 25 EPS officers. And the question is, how much George will have on a daily basis, even when he was sitting as president before talking about being out of the office? That's why I want to know to justify the numbers.
What is the total number of EPSA in the country?
I know. If you're going to give him 25, then how am I going to get Joseph Boakai?
Yeah, and how much you're going to give the current
and Madam Salif?
The current vice president.
Yeah.
And the most immediate or previous vice president. You know, so we want to. So these are numbers that we need to put together first. You know, I see people who support President Joseph Yoman Boakai all on Facebook trying to make fun with this. You know, some things are professional and diplomatic. They must be handled in a professional and diplomatic way, whether you like it or not. It's not about liking President George well or not. This man has made a request, or his party has made a request for him. The first question is, let's validate the request. Is this a realistic request that can be met by the Liberian government? Let's evaluate that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, what is the standard? What is the standard? And then the third part I would be asking is there any kind of risk? Any kind of what's prompting this request?
What's the implication here that he needs 25 now that he's out of office?
This request?
Yes.
You understand? And so is the government also in a position, if they're going to step out of standard or regular thing, does that mean that our new standard now we're establishing that when another president leaves, he can say he wants 50? And President George Weah had 25 because he requested it, so they should give him 52 or they should give her 50? You see, these kind of issues must be handled delicately, as opposed to making it look like a political tool or a joking matter of fun. I see people around that not 25 you will get and that this you will get. No, that's not everything you can joke around with. Let's find out, why did this come out?
Yeah.
Let's ascertain some of these facts, you know, and let's see what's going on. And is this going to change the standard now or the protocol? Can Ellen Johnson Sirleaf ask now for 25?
Ask for 52.
Yes. You know
I mean, he was there for only 6 years. I mean, Madam Sirleaf was there for 12 years. So if you want to use the rationale, then Madam Sirleaf should request at least 50 because she was there for 12 years and should be more at risk as compared to we are who were there for only 6 years.
So I just don't. In as much that the request seems, please don't get me wrong, seems valid, is out there. Let's also get to the point where we investigate the reasoning behind it, because these are security concerns too that could be behind it. You never know why the former president is asking for this, right? So let's be careful as to how we approach this, how we go about the questionings around it, how we go about some of the things that need to be addressed around this particular concern. But Mark, I woke up this morning to Moluba Molu of all people, right? Moluba Molu, somebody was saying, why you got to say of all people? I say of all people because Moluba Molu is the wrong messenger to pass it around and go rest stand. You know, my man, I don't get it, man. I don't get how we honor ourselves on a daily basis as people. Imagine Moluba Molu saying he not to advocate. Moluba Molu was just politician. Less than 3 weeks ago. What changed? What happened? Mark, what say you about Moluba Molu's so-called new venture that he politician? Look, what say you? Because let me hear your view first before we get into some of the strategies and the plan behind all of this move.
Well, the Moluba Molu thing, I think, is just pure politics. I don't understand the method to his madness, but we all knew what was going to happen. Look, Moluba Molu been sitting in the town within the CDC from the moment that leaked video. I told you about that leaked audio recording that came up, right? CDC was just stage managing Molu. And you know the man who controlled the CDC at the time, the former president, you know when it comes to this personal issue, he don't take things lightly, and he's someone who keeps stuff. And even people that know him on a personal level know when it comes to tolerance. So I think he just playing politics, and he was mostly pushed out. You remember that the article we read, that statement from Molu where he was blaming seditions and how they got to rebrand the party, reaching out to the West. It was almost like he was not taking blame as the party chairman, that there are forces within CDC that are literally pushing out. So the whole idea now that he's the newest advocate on the block, it's not going to fly with me. I know it's nothing other than politics. Maybe he tried to gain sympathy from people within the opposition now that he's no longer the chairman of CDC. But it's not genuine advocacy, and everybody understands that. We all knew what was happening within the party when Molu was there. And he indicated, if I read, I don't know if we still get that piece that he wrote on Facebook that we read. I think we read it on this show, right? He listed a litany of issues against the CDC hierarchy and the insider. He was literally insinuating there were forces in the party that actually pushing out. So Moluba resignation, it came at no surprise. It was by design, and he's not an advocate. That's my take. He's not anything close to what advocacy. He just want to gain sympathy now that he's no longer in the position to affect issues within the CDC brand. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think he's an advocate. No.
Well, Mark, from what we're getting from inside sources, this is all well orchestrated and well planned. It's well calculated. Let me remind the Labrador about something, and then we'll get into another aspect of the conversation for the day. You remember when President George Weah came to power, the opposition or opposition political parties, opposition political leaders, don't listen to this because this is interesting. But I know some of you will not pay attention because you're emotionally driven and you got short attention spans. But for those who will listen and pay attention and can remember history, we'll take you back really quick. Certain things happened when President George Weah took over. Some of the things that happened include, but are not limited to, the surface of Henry Costa. You're listening. Darius Dillon. Darius Dillon was a politician, for some of you who did not know. The surface of Mo Ali and other young people into the Liberian politics from the quote-unquote opposition. This time around, all that resignation and all that thing that you see Molu doing or whatever it is a concocted plan. From what we are told and what we are informed is Molu resigned willingly with the plan that he will become the new force in the opposition, because lots of the other people from the CDC and other places work in the executive. So Molu now will be seen as the quote-unquote spokesperson for accountability and justice, with the hope that he will attract other political leaders and they will be driven to him so that they can lead the opposition. By extension, through the CDC. Molu wrote all that thing. But Molu said something in his post, that he is still remaining CDC and he is still committed to the party. Molu never resigned from CDC. This is an orchestrated plan against you again, to fool you. The same people who are just in power. Now, the other day I was listening to seditious when we were at the party headquarters. The shameless, look, the audacity. These guys have no remorse. They have no shame. In fact, they don't even fear. They now pass a level where they don't fear God. So now get no fear for human being. You who were just there less than 2 months ago, all the things that happened in your government, you make excuses for it, you defended it. You cursed people, you fought people, you isolated and alienated people, you chased people. You put me and Seku on your list. When we are aware of it. CDC did that, the CDC-led government. I'm saying it here today, we not say it before. You did that. You put us on your list. We are aware of it. I wrote it on my page. The only reason I took it down because my mom told me to take it down. I was never going to take it down. You did that. You're passing around today. Right? Funny looking people talking about your own accountability and justice. Okay, I agree with you. I want for all to agree on this issue of accountability and justice. But here's my question to you. Can you guys sit in the back and allow people who are serious to take charge? Because with the way you're proceeding, you will make the issue of accountability and justice to go nowhere and to do nothing. So Molu is on a venture with these people. Moluba Molu is on a venture with them. So this is no strange. This is no coincidental. That thing where you see them passing with it. And some people will fall for it in Liberia though. Some people will fall for it in Liberia. You're here today. Some of our people will fall for it in Liberia. In fact, they are already in line. They are already in line falling for it. A voice of the voiceless. Oh God, voice of at least somebody standing up for us. And whole day you're looking for somebody to stand up for you. Yourself never stood up for yourself. You don't stand up for yourself. You don't stand up for nobody. So the CDC, Moluba Molu, cannot be the one to channel this. It's all a political move. CDC and Moluba Molu, then they are on a political move. And not only CDC, some of the people that call themselves right now in government or opposition leaders, they are part of the deal, yeah? This is all well planned and scripted. And they're about to play you again. They are about to play you again. I know some of you will fall for it because you are emotionally driven. The thing not working. Your brain is not working. You are emotionally driven. You get attached to anybody that they come and say they're advocate. And they will use you later and just throw you away. Like the Costa, like Dillon, let other people play you. How do you? Even normally, all of them play you. All of them play you. They're not in no accountability and justice business. They're not. They are not. So that thing Moluba Molu passing the wrong way, this is the plan that they have. This is the plan that they have. If you think this is lie, and you hear it on SKTV, watch and see. Watch and see. What say you?
But I don't understand this method to this madness. If Moluba Molu believe that CDC is the number one opposition party and you want to galvanize forces with other opposition party, then why not attract them to CDC? Why you want to let's say disengage from the CDC with the expectation that you will be the one leading the opposition black, only to come and bamboozle other political leaders and then regain power? I really don't know, and I don't think that's going to work either. Even if that is the case with Molu, it will not work because it just doesn't make sense. But anyway, we come from a gullible society, and people over there, like you said, they are mostly emotional driven. They don't use logic. It's all about emotion, and people could buy into that. We saw it with the CPP. We saw people that were deceptive. They are not into accountability. They are not into good governance, but they understand the voters because the voters themselves are deceptive. And so that's why I keep saying on the show all the time, there will be no way that we can make progress in Liberia because not only the people that are in the position of power are deceptive, the very people making those choices are also defective. So it's almost like race to the top. Who's going to get the frame first? If the people at the top get the voters to go their way, then guess what? They are the one that want the race. So if give and take, that's just why it is. The voters are deceptive. The people who are trying to rise up to political power, they themselves are deceptive. So you don't have a middle ground. You are either for or against. So within the case of Molu, I just don't know how it's going to happen. People will fall for it, but I don't think it's a long term. It's more of a tactic rather than strategy. I don't think it will yield any long-term fruit. Maybe he might get away with one or two things in the short term, but in the long run, I don't think it's going to work, that strategy. People will fall for it, but not too many people are going to buy into that as well.
Well, Monk, you're 100% right. You know, you're 100% right as to the long term to be able to sustain this, but a lot of people are going to buy into it. Not only a lot of people are going to buy into it, the plan and the goal is for most of these politicians to support them on the cover financially and so forth. So they want to make Moluba Molu the face of quote unquote the opposition. All that thing where you see them passing around today, launching and celebrating and they winning, it's all planned, well orchestrated by the same group of people. You know, Monk, I've been I've been following the series on Netflix, you know, Blacklist. And I've been learning a lot of different things from there as well, right? About how the cabal and these different groups and other different group and all this other different one, right? It's very interesting and fascinating. But I will give credit. Let me say this. I will give credit to the crooks, the bad people, the evil people, and most of our politicians in Liberia. I'll give them credit when it comes to the issue of criminality and doing what is wrong to and with our people. I'll have to give them credit. You know, they're thinking fast. They're thinking ahead. They're just thinking in a very criminal way, in a bad way, not in a strategic way with a long-term, like you said, long-term sustainability to help the country, to help the nation move forward. That's the only difference. But they're thinking far, though. They're thinking very, very far. The guys have already started strategizing to be able to control the narrative. They have already started strategizing. They've already started identifying, trying to identify who they will use and what they will do. Now, let me say this. It's going to get very, very interesting. You know, I wrote on my post this morning. I wrote on my Facebook post this morning that a lot of interesting things are about to happen. A lot of interesting things are about to happen. And so, Monk, thinking about that, yesterday we gave the Unity Party an ultimatum, or not an ultimatum, we gave them the leeway to tell the Labrador what
an opportunity to come clean.
Yes, an opportunity to come clean about what happened in Ivory Coast.
Yep.
And what went on, what a discussion. You know, it's been a week. We give it to them.
Yep.
We've done nothing. And the thing that we're going to lead our conversation, they're not true.
Yep.
No, they're not true. I know Jeremy Pia or whatever his name is. I don't care about his name. Kula Fofana. All of y'all who get news from the government, who can get news from the government. Tomorrow, y'all better tell Labrampo what's up. Because y'all don't, we'll tell them. We'll tell what you want to Ivory Coast to do. And I will not electricity business.
Yeah, no, but they were warned. They were warned in advance, so I guess they're supposed to respond by now.
They're following. And we're discussing here. And you know what's interesting? Coincidentally, while they were going, Jackie were also going for them to discuss global terrorist. Forget
terrorism and money laundering.
You remember one of the places that was used, Prince Johnson, Charles Taylor, and everybody else reported that Ivory Coast were one of the places that were used heavily to influence the Liberian war.
Civil War, Africa and Burkina Faso play a major role.
Ivory Coast was the route, the transport route. At that time, President Felix Houphouët-Boigny, peace be to his ashes, a man who did well for his people, a man who laid foundations. He and the current president, Alassane Dramane Ouattara, they did well for the people. And the people did not see religion or anything to vote for them because they picked the best amongst them. That's what you do to move your country forward. You don't rely on God. Relying on God is not a strategy. You don't sit and say, oh, God will save everyone. That's not strategy. That's not strategy. You pick the best from amongst you. Felix Houphouët-Boigny, at that time, and maybe some of you can verify the history because some of the young children who on Facebook don't picking any leg and who on Facebook will put me on my phone, who don't even know the Liberian history. It is reported like Felix Houphouët-Boigny, these guys were not even happy with the Dole regime. They were not happy because of what happened. So I think one of Felix, please get me correct for those of you who are historians who know this history, who are aware of the fact. I read it very long time ago, and I might be wrong on this. I think it was his niece or so forth that got killed. That created some serious problems. Some rift between A.B. Talbot. Yes. You see, they got some view and some veteran in here who understand the issue. Yeah, his brother-in-law. Thank you. You know, thank God, Mom, we got some older folks here who understand the issue, who still alert and oriented. That particular kill opened the door for rebels to be able to enter Liberia. Yes, his son-in-law. Toba was his son-in-law. And this is where
like you said, right?
Yes, this is where the noise came from. More like retribution or confusion. You know? So as we speak now, the president goes to Ivory Coast. Let me tell you something. Let me say this to you. When Doe and other people were warned, to not do nothing, to AB, you'll let the man go. Don't forget it. You'll get rid of the man. So it opened that corridor. Don't kill somebody's son-in-law. That in Liberia, you're gonna kill people. You say, hey, leave it with God. Go ask the Israel. Go ask the people from Gaza what happening to them. Even though we don't agree with it, but go ask them. People are standing up for themselves. In Liberia, people can kill somebody. And they say God called and they go to church, and you go to the same church and sit down there with them. The person refused to repent or refuse to ask for forgiveness. But you sit down there with them, you hold them, you call them daddy, you call them pastor, you call them reverend. Now in Liberia, you can do that. Yeah, his daughter was married. Yeah, Mr. Kane, thank you for it. You see, Mr. Kane too, that veteran, he been around. Sekou been around too. Sekou wasn't becoming the show. Sekou been around. And so that brought problem, my people. That in itself brought problem. That in itself brought problem for us, to us as a nation, and so forth. So, as we speak, Monk, they're going to the Ivory Coast. Tomorrow, they're not talking. United Party people, United Party government, you're not talking tomorrow. Tomorrow. Good thing is, you can finish doing all your running around. We can come on 6 o'clock. We'll tell the Liberian people they did that in Ivory Coast. We'll tell them. We will. We will. And so that's why we are on SKTV. We don't play games. We're not here for that. We don't owe nobody nothing. We don't get loyalty to nobody but to Liberia. You do what is right, we'll say it. You not do what is right, we'll also say it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. We're not here for that. So, but Monk, let me.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to chime into this conversation, but that's part of our history.
Yeah.
The Ivorians, the people from Ivory Coast are very good people. Let me say it to you. One of the best places you can ever live. If you have the opportunity to raise your children or to bring them up, take your children to Ivory Coast. They will teach them morals, values, the real culture. Culture for children, they will teach them there. They will teach them there. But Mark, say what you want to say. Sorry for the interference.
Yeah, that case, I mean, that particular story is going to come out tomorrow. Like you said, they were giving the opportunity to tell the Liberian people the truth. And SKTV told them more than a week ago, if you cannot come up with the truth, that's what SKTV is here for. And most of them, they kind of, they are not too into the kind of information we give you. I tell you, that's why they gravitate toward the spoon talk, because it's almost like a propaganda channel. People hate the truth. People will pretend like they love the truth, but in reality, not too many people are comfortable with accepting the truth, and that's just why it is. But you sent me a little clip concerning the former Pro 10, and I tell you, all the media houses in Liberia, including the platform on Facebook, every time we read an article here, for me, I'm very observant. I follow things. Every time we come up with a story on this platform, the original content, we always give them credit. All the political leaders in Liberia, they follow the SKTV religiously. They may not be watching live, but they come and they revisit the show maybe later on. When you send me that little clip from Abache about the whole issue of the War Crimes Code and the Constitution, it almost like he was quoting word for word for what we have been saying on this platform. The Article 89 of the Constitution about the 10-year position and the issue of war crime code and the recommendation from the TRC. That's what I saw in that video. I was like, okay, yeah, this is what we're going to say. And we've said it on the show that they are showing inclination from the upper house that they might not pursue this thing. I don't know if the president is on board, but it looked like it's a unanimous consent within the Senate that they might not pursue the whole issue of war crime code. And there will be a rift, because I know the lower house, they voted. There are more people in the lower house that are pushing for this thing as compared to the people in the upper house. And that's where we are. We're going to listen to Abache. You can just put the pieces together. The Yaya Nimne, the Prince Johnson, the Abache of the war, and other forces within the Senate. My thing here is, it seems like the president himself might be leaning in that direction, but we say, see, I would give him the benefit of the doubt, in as much as I want to believe. Because I told you something yesterday on the show that the war and economic crimes code, they are a double-edged sword. Joseph Boaga might want justice, but when it comes to the economic aspect of this war and economic crime code, I don't think that's something you'll be willing to sign off on. And for that reason, since they are two in one, you cannot have one or the other. I think he's going to skip both of them. That's what I believe. I don't know. I love to be proven wrong, and I want to be proven wrong.
I think, Monk, you're 100% right, but I think I will reach out to Sekou and other members in the back to see if anyone of them can upload that video. I think I sent it to Sekou and I sent it to the other men in the back there to just
send it back to you. I could send it back to you. I mean, just for the audience to get a view
Yeah, can you send it to Sekou? I'm not going to be able to.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, you're
I
right.
think Sekou can do that. I'm not sure if he's available. I'm not sure if he can do that. I will hope maybe Sekou can help us upload it. It's very short. I think it's a minute or two. The
2
video.
minutes.
Yeah, I think it's a minute or two. I listened to it and I was. It's very interesting because they played the same game with President George Weah. They did. They played the same game with President George Weah when the One Economic Crimes Code conversation came out. They played the George Weah and told him to send it to them.
Yeah.
Which when they sent it to them, Councillor Tiawan Gongo came out and said, "No, that's wrong. You don't do it that way. This has nothing to do with these guys. No, it has nothing to do with these guys."
Can you imagine our church insinuating that Joseph Boga should apologize to the victims of war and then create an account, put money into this account, and give it to people that were affected or communities that were affected by the war? So my thinking is, I think every congressional district in Liberia were affected by the war. One way or another, somebody saw the negative impact of war. So how are you going to create an account to compensate people that experience the tragic or the trauma of war using the very same people money? Can you look, these guys, man? That's why I keep telling you, it will be very hard for us to make progress in Liberia, because can you imagine the very people that were affected as a result of war? You want to use their money to come here. It's almost like I stole from Melbourne and came back to Melbourne and said, "Mr. Melbourne, let me go grab a cup of coffee. Let you. I got small thing for you." After stealing from Melbourne, that's exactly what he's suggesting. That we create an account, put millions of dollars in it, the very same taxpayer money, to come and appease people who were victims of war crime. And then he wanted Palava House star, which is we talk it, and yet tell people, say, you know what, it happened, already happened. Sorry for what happened, and you can move on with your life, because that's exactly what he's insinuating in that video. Think about that. It's so sad. Yep. See, but that's what we find ourselves. That's for the day.
Well, Monk, you're right. That is a strategy. That is a thought process, right? It tells you how these guys are thinking, very low of the same people that they hurt. Like you said, it's like you steal from people you hurt, and then you say, "Okay, I will keep the money that I stole from you."
Yeah, and come and give it back to you and appease you.
You know, I will keep that money, but I want you to pay more money. Then I will take that money that you pay and give it back to you. Okay, I think that is video here. Is it playing? I'm not sure.
No, it's not playing yet. I mean, you had to hit the play button. Yeah, I seen the mouse. All right, can listen now.
Also, by stating that Article 89 of the Constitution gives the legislature the right to establish agencies of government and prescribe their nature. You have the right to indicate whether they are tenure or non-tenure. Also, during the segment, the Senate received a resolution from the House of Representatives on the establishment of war economic crime courts in the country. As you know, it was sent to the appropriate committee, the judiciary, to report to plenary within 2 weeks. But prior to that, I sent a communication to plenary, reminding plenary about the advice he gave the former president back in 2021. Specifically, the Senate believed then that there should be justice for victims and that crimes against humanity should not go unpunished. But constitutional and other legal constraints may prohibit the establishment of an international tribunal in the form and manner prescribed in the TRC report on Liberian soil. That economic crimes code, that economic crimes committed during the civil crisis do not constitute international crimes, but should be dealt with under Liberian laws using Liberian criminal codes, including the possibility of establishing a correction court. And that there are other recommendations in the TRC report. For example, the state apology that should be offered by the president, the reparation trust fund, that money to go to help victims of the war and victimized communities, and the Palava Hot program, where perpetrators and victims will come face to face and discuss.
Well,
Let me add also by stating that Article 89 of the Constitution gives the legislature the right to establish agencies of government and prescribe their nature. You have the right to indicate whether they are tenure or non-tenure. Also, during the segment, the Senate received a resolution from the House of Representatives on the establishment of war economic crime courts in the country. As you know, it was sent to the appropriate committee, including judiciary, to report to plenary within 2 weeks. But prior to that, I sent a communication to plenary, reminding plenary about the advice he gave the former president back in 2021. Specifically, the Senate believed then that there should be justice for victims and that crimes against humanity should not go unpunished. But constitutional and other legal constraints may prohibit the establishment of an international tribunal in the form and manner prescribed in the TRC report on Liberian soil. That economic crimes codes, that economic crimes committed during the civil crisis do not constitute international crimes, but should be dealt with under Liberian laws using Liberian criminal codes, including the possibility of establishing a correction code. And that there are other recommendations in the TRC report. For example, the state apology that should be offered by the president, the reparation trust fund, that money to go to help victims of the war and victimized communities, and the Palava Hot program, where perpetrators.
There you go. You
Well-
got it loud and clear.
well, first of all, let's examine his statements, because I think at some point there seem to be some contradictions or some confusion. First of all, he insinuates or he states that automatically they resulted into going to economic crimes during the war. Well, I don't know if that's the statute or whatever it is. Go Alan White here speaking about the courts. He said it will be for the period of 1989
to 2003. Yeah. No, for economic crime up to today. Yeah.
Up to today.
Yes.
So I don't know where Albert Chi is coming from, but let's welcome Siku. Mr. Kane, what's going on?
Yeah, thank you so much. And I want to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everybody. I was not actually planning on coming on today. I was just kind of working in the back. And I was a little bit busy, but I was just, concerned when I listened to the garbage spewed by the former Ochen Abuchi. So I kind of feel compelled to come on to somehow set the record straight to inform our Liberian people as to what he's saying does not make sense.
No.
And that's not the law. First of all, Abuchi's statement that, or saying that international crimes are different from crime in Liberia.
Can you imagine that?
International crime are crime, and besides, saying that crime that can be somehow under the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court cannot be, under the jurisdiction of Liberia unless they somehow create some court. First of all, Abuchi needs to understand that as long as Liberia sign up to any treaty, convention, or statute under the Liberian law, anything that is signed for by the president on behalf of Liberia, by virtue of the international law, that becomes part of our constitution. We have committed Signing treaty is part of the Liberian constitution. So anything you do constitutionally, the virtue of our constitution it becomes part of our constitution. Every statute, every laws under that statute are binding on Liberia. Abochie is just trying to play smart, thinking that people are stupid, and also believe that most common people in Liberia, they don't have the capacity to even read some of these things or to understand, what is in it. But this is very clear. Abochie is a sanctioned, one of those people who are sanctioned. So Abochie then try to play the harbor in a way that they can somehow avoid being prosecuted for what they did. He's not speaking for himself, just himself. He's speaking for all of them. Whether it's the McGill, it's the Prince Johnson, all the guys that are sanctioned. He's speaking for all of them. So Abochie should be ashamed of himself. Shouldn't be doing this. If you are a former president of the Liberian Senate, you are held a certain standard. People respect you. People expect you to know better and to do better, to understand the law and give a clear picture as to what the law says on the given issues. We can't come to mislead the people, trying to cover yourself and cover Prince John, the likes of Prince Johnson and other people who are sanctioned and could potentially be picked up and prosecuted. So Abochie just trying to use his position to somehow twist the law, lie to the Liberian people, and confuse people who don't understand. I just wanted to come in, just clarify that.
So, Mr. Kane,
it doesn't make sense, and that's not the law.
So let me support your point with the constitution that Abochie quoted. First of all, let me say there's no disrespect to Abochie, but it's a shame on us as Liberians to even select Abochie as a Senate pro tem. It was a shame on us. It's a shame on us in the 21st century. Let me tell you why. Because Abochie himself is ignorant to the laws. Abochie does not even understand what's going on in reality. And Abochie can never do what is right. So that's a disgrace on us to even refer to him as former Senate pro. Do you know what it means to be a Senate pro tem? But let me corroborate Seku's point with the Constitution. There's two things I want to read from the Constitution here. And Abochie talk about Article 89 to tell you that it's a shame on us. We select the least among us that don't know nothing to put into public office because we want to use them for criminal behaviors and for criminal transactions. Look at what Article 89 says. Article 89 of the Constitution, 1985. Listen to what it says. Article 89. The following autonomous public commission are hereby established: Civil Servant Commission, Elections Commission, and General Auditing Commission. The legislature shall enact laws for the governance of these commissions and create other agencies as may be necessary for the effective operations of the government. What does it have to do with War Economic Crime Code? What does it have to do with crimes against humanity or anything of establishing any kind of code or something? So this is to tell you how this man is ignorant of the law. But let me also agree with Sekou and contradict Abochie's point to expose him that we got a bunch of people that don't want to do what is right. They sit around, they have the opportunity to go to school to educate themselves and inform themselves. They don't do that. They get elected by the public through funny shenanigans. They come there and they bring the same attitude. They bring the same behavior. Let's look at Article 95, because that's where we got all this quagmire, all the foolishness he was saying with confidence. When you read Article 95, look at B and listen to B where it says, all treaties, executive, and other international listen to it, and other international agreements and obligations concluded by the government of the People's Redemption Council or prior governments in the name of the Republic prior to the coming into force of this Constitution shall continue to be valid and binding on the Republic unless abrogated or canceled or unless otherwise inconsistent with the Constitution. So what is Abuche talking about? Didn't the presidents before him, before the CDC-led government, didn't they sign up to the treaty? They signed up to the Geneva Convention. They signed up to the Rome Statute. So what in here that?
And the question becomes, which part
Exactly
of the international criminal law violate or that is inconsistent
with the Constitution
with
of
the criminal
Liberia.
laws of Liberia or with the Liberian Constitution? Which one of them? Which part? So even those who are somehow acting like they know,
right.
and I know they don't know anything. Let it tell us which part of the Liberian Constitution, which provision that has been violated or that seems inconsistent with the international criminal laws.
Yes, which one? That's
Where?
a great question.
Because yes, you can say, well, Liberia got it right. Liberia as a sovereign nation, Liberia has the right to govern herself in this and that. But if you and in this country is very clear that every treaty, everything that you talk about here, once it's signed by Liberia, is binding on Liberia unless it is some part of it, which any part of it that is inconsistent with our Constitution. So where and which part of the International Criminal Code or criminal laws that is not consistent with the Liberian law? Which part of it?
And that's the question that you don't answer. Which part of this law?
So Abuche and the jailer to play with words to confuse people who are already confused, and they have a lot of free singers and and people.
For me,
yeah,
I don't think Abuche is not cognizant of the law. I don't think Abuche is short on the interpretation of the law. Abuche, I told you guys on the show, there are certain premises in Liberia that our politicians put out there. Our politicians assume that the vast majority of the people in Liberia don't follow these things. The few that can follow these things, that understand what's going on, they are all looking for jobs. The people who religiously follow this thing to the bone are maybe people in the media, people in the diaspora. So they think they can bamboozle people and let their own imposition Liberian people to stand. Let me tell you something. I'm not only looking at Abuche, I'm looking at other lawmakers in the Senate that never held gun, that never inflicted any damage in terms of war crime. Why are you not hearing from them? And this is where I got the feeling that it won't pass the Senate, because you would think you would want to hear from the Dylan of the war, of the Jonathan Segway of the war, the Nyomli Kanga. But at the last time I checked, Dylan never held arm. He was never a rebel leader. He never facilitated any insurgency in Liberia. So the question is, when this kind of a statement coming off in the leg of Abuche, you will expect to hear from Nyomli, you will expect to hear from Dylan, you will expect to hear from Bocha, but not a single one of them is yet to rebuke any statement coming from Yaya Nimne or Prince Johnson and Abuche. It was the same way in which Prince Johnson came and lied until we asked Dr. Allen White that they granted themselves amnesty. It's the same thing Abuche is doing. And when you watch that video again, he made a mistake. He wanted to say we sent a warning to the previous president in 2000, but he said it was an advice. If you play that video again, he wanted to tell Joseph Boaga that the same nonsense we said it to Georgia. We made recommendation that we should go with the TRC. But here's the thing. Even with the TRC recommendation, they are still cherry picking as to why they want. What Abuche won? He won a trust fund for reparation. He won Palava Hut, and he won Joseph Boaga giving out an official apology on behalf of all the war crime victims. I mean, on behalf of the nation to war crime victims. That's what they want. And when he talked about the whole thing about setting up how international law, Abuche knows very well that international law trumps Liberia domestic constitution by virtue of the fact that we signed up to all these peace treaties, whether it's a Rome Statute, whether it's the Geneva Convention. He understands that he's no fool. That is the thing in Liberia. The people who know assume that the vast majority, maybe 7 out of every 10, could care less about how they do business, except for some of us who will come here and call this thing out and few politicians, but the vast majority of the ordinary Liberian, in as much as they want war crimes code, they are not following the day-to-day activity of our lawmaker. And this is where things get rough in Liberia. You cannot get nothing done because people are not paying attention, except we come on these shows and talk about this stuff. And the people who you expect to hear from, why are they not raising the decibel? Why are they not raising the noise? Why we are yet to hear from Dillon? How can Yeke Koluba be crying every day and you cannot hear a single word from Dillon or Nyombli Kanga or Borchas?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. You know, we are reliably informed here on SKTV that Senator Nyombli Kanga Lawrence, the sitting Senate pro tem, which is a woman, that I made, Darius Dillon, Borchas Segwe, who play football, who God bless, and people elected him to become a politician. Prince Moi. Y'all remember the name Prince Moi? And outside of that, in other news, Prince Moi, he and Dara Dillon have been exposed. They were more likely so if they don't put an act together, be sanctioned. And not only sanctioned, but we'll go deeper than that. I want to talk about the other part, but Prince Moi in the same boat with Darius Dillon. So, but these four guys are also lobbying in the back, from what we are told from reliable sources, to ensure that Joseph Boakai does not sign the War on Economic Crimes Court. You're getting it. Four of them. They are lobbying in the back end. Prince Moi, Darius Dillon, Borchas Segwe, and what her name said, Nyombli Kanga Lawrence. They are allegedly lobbying strongly and highly in the back end to ensure that it does not pass through. Just so you are aware. And as we speak now, Senator Nyombli Kanga Lawrence and her group have, look, you know, the governance process, the appointments and so forth. SKTV is informed. And it is alleged that maybe 20% of the appointments in the government has come from Senator Nyombli Kanga Lawrence, Unokiam, she and Dillon. 20%, it is alleged, 20% of the appointments were influenced, pushed by them. So they have very, very strong standings in this government. So that's why they're playing all the little games that they're playing. And they're in line with everything that these guys are doing. Along with the big man, what he mean? They allege Himo Parcelo, our vice president, allegedly he's a Boyo man. Jeremiah Kun, allegedly he's still in medicine business and Himo Parcelo. Jeremiah Kun, your vice president. But that is a shame and a disgrace we settle for in Liberia. So I don't think those things are strange. But yeah, so this is a huge fight. This is a huge battle. And these guys are doing everything. Like Sekou said earlier, Jeremiah, what a guy named Abochi is being used as the spokesman as we speak right now for them. Most of the communications are channeled through Abochi. It's like, he ain't got nothing to lose now. He already sanctioned, so what? So you hear him talking. And at the same talking about him in trouble. And at the same funny talking about him in trouble. He back to the same funny talking again. But that's where we are, folks. This is the nation we have. These are the people you elected. These are the people you support. You went under the wing, the sun to support. Yep. Mr. Kane, why are you laughing?
Let me tell you something, Steve. There's a conundrum that happened from the previous administration. If you talk to Georgia on a personal basis, if you hang around Georgia hate rebel activity. You remember it was the same rebel that took Georgia and seized the property. How you remember the Kuku Dennis incident dating back to in the 90s, the late 90s, 97, 98? Georgia won't see war crime code. But when it comes to the economic crimes, that is the problem with that war crimes code. He would not go for it because he know he himself and people that surround him were also part of it. It's the same thing will happen with Joseph Boakai. Because, like I said, the actors in the war, they are not that much. But why is it that this particular issue is so sticky and it's not going through? Because it's the economic provision or the aspect of the war and economic crimes code. I can bet you all your lawmakers in the upper chamber, including the president himself, they got engaged in a lot of illegal activity when it comes to taking the Liberian poor money. They understand that few people will be affected from the war crime. And that's what that lady said. We spoke about this yesterday. Beth Vinsach, she said we even got more proof when it comes to economic crimes as compared to war crime. And looking at the statute of limitation between the war crimes and the economic crime, you're talking about from 1990 or 1989, right? To 2003. But when it comes to the economic aspect, it's current up to today's date. So whether it's the vice president, whether it's the president, whether it's the entire Senate, they are all guilty of the same crime. That is why I'm not bullish about the war in economic crimes code, except they can find a way to separate it too. But I don't see that happening. That was Abacha insinuating that we should set up a domestic code. For he said, international law will prohibit Liberia from executing the war crimes. Then we should establish local domestic courts to prosecute criminals, economic criminals. And what do you think is going to happen when they establish that code? Even if they were to establish one in Liberia by our own local judges, it will still be corrupt. That way they can get off the hook. And that is why I'm placing my bet. I want to be proven wrong that once you have war and economic crimes code combined in Liberia, Joseph Boakai will never sign it. I will bet on that until I can be machine. And I will come and apologize to him on this network or on this platform. It won't happen in Liberia.
My man, you sure?
So just to the provision of the Constitution that Steve read earlier, I just want to elaborate on it a little bit so that people can understand. When it said all treaties, executive and other international agreements, and obligation concluded by the government of the People Redemption Council or prior government in the name of the Republic prior to the coming into force of the Constitution shall continue to be valid and binding on the Republic unless, that is the part I wanted to clarify, unless abrogated or cancelled or unless otherwise inconsistent with this Constitution. To the point Abacha made, assuming that they found out that treaties, agreement, international laws, that they found inconsistent with the Liberian law, Liberian Constitution. You know what they can do as legislature? They can amend it. That's what it says. Unless that law that they were talking about is abrogated or cancelled or otherwise inconsistent with the Constitution, is binding. So as things stands right now, Liberia is a signatory to Rome Statute, the Geneva Convention. Everything that is covered, everything that is considered as crime, all of those statutes are also crime in Liberia and should be imposed by the Liberian Constitution. That's what they're saying. Unless those treaties that they join, the statute that they sign up to and ratify, unless they will say, you know what, we're not part of the membership no more.
Yeah, they move from there.
That's it.
Whatever we sign, we want to tell you, we want to be part of it. Or then, even though we're part of this membership here, we're part of everything, but the other part here is
not
consistent with our Constitution. Until they can do that, they got to tell the Liberian people. All they need to do is to get their act together and sign that document for the War and Economic Crimes Code. They got no case whatsoever. We should not confuse the people.
And Mr. Kane, you're right. Like you said, and I will tell my people that in simple,
what the Constitution says.
In simple English. You know the thing what Abacha say to your the money, you're sorry, my people. You forget Abacha, you don't know what he's doing. Abacha that confused me, and from the time he lose the position to Yomli, and also the possession on him. He not know what thing going on. My Oma, my papa them. Abachi wanted to lie to you the morning. So the video that we play here for Abachi, the Constitution say, if you now want one economic crime to be in your country, you now want people to come there. You can go and move yourself. The paper that they signed long time ago, before maybe Abachi then say were born. That paper that they signed long time ago. What I brought other president and son. That time some of you were not even born. Say some of your children they were not born. Some of other time I don't think they think about born all that time. They say the government Joseph Boaga Manja go there and say we don't want to be in 18 years again. My people, that whole room statute and that whole Geneva conversation thing, we not want to be inside. And they can move themselves from there. They can sign another paper and say, we now want to be there. We
Say like, again.
We're not part of the whole thing yet. We don't want to be inside. Then, when they do that one, then the whole work economic crime will be there.
And still to add to it again, the reason why those treaties and organizations and conventions are important. You remember when Liberia had the war, United Nations had the presence of United Nations troops.
Oh.
And the time they spent there, they never had that number of 8 of the troops anywhere in the world before Liberia.
Also, when it comes to that,
they spend there, they don't spend that one in anywhere.
When it comes to that Liberia law,
so, Liberia part of those laws, Liberia part of those treaties, was only happy they will come
they will benefit from it.
Aid of Liberia.
Yeah.
And was something too bad happening to the Liberian citizen, they will also come to the help of the Liberian citizen. I just want to clarify those areas.
Yeah, so that one you told Mr. Canada, what you told people, let me break it down for my people there. You know, the time they were fighting in Liberia, you know how we have peacekeeper then there, we had UN people then there, and that time, you know, you used to be enjoying the economy was good, UN people were there. My people, the reason why they were there, the reason they came to us to help us during the war, and they used to bring food because of that paper what we signed. That paper what our own president a long time ago then signed. That particular paper, it made us to get all that small benefit. And today, if something happened in Liberia, when you go do your press conference then, what thing you can put inside? And you can say you're calling on the international community.
Mm-hmm.
So then that today you don't want international community in Liberia business. The international community, when something happened, they are carrying paper. And you only carry paper to UN. The time she and Musa Berede were in court, she not carried to the American embassy. And they were walking. She and Delon, they seen Shameless Delon here. They were walking around. When something happened, you're carrying people to European Union, ECOWAS, and the other group, a human rights advocate group, and that one, and they are calling upon the international community. Oh, that today you're not one international community. That today you're serving nation. That today you're able to handle your own thing. You're not one international community. So my people, that they reach to you.
Steve, here's the thing in Liberia. I was born in Liberia, grew up in Liberia, but there's this common statement in Liberia. It took me a while to figure it out. I was grown up before I could figure out when the people say educated people fail Liberia. That statement you cannot interpret it like it sounds. You know, everywhere in the world, people educate their people to elevate in terms of economic productivity, or how they can call it, or social development, all these things, or human capacity development. When the average Liberian tells you that educated people fail Liberia, why are they actually saying that? The people who you expect to know better, they think like villagers. They are not anti-education. They are not saying that when you go to school, you will destroy society. But in the case of Liberia, the people that you expect to know better, they think like people that never went to school. Liberia is not only a signatory to the United Nations. Don't forget, United Nations was formed after World War II, right? 1946. Liberia was a signatory to the League of Nations.
Yes.
1920. That is 26 years before the United Nations came into being. So if we were signing treaties and international law and statutes from the League of Nations days, and now you want to tell the Liberian people that we are not going to honor international laws because there are provisions in our constitution that prohibit those laws? Come on, Abache, what are you talking about? You see,
Yeah.
that is why the last time we were on the show, I even told you guys about the asset recovery. I was doing some deep dive over the weekend, right? Do you know when it comes to even asset recovery, there are international standards and law that govern that both Great Britain and United States with other Western countries came together. You should do a research together. They call the G5, the Global Forum on Asset Recovery, and they get another one they call the Institute of Governance with Support of Stolen Asset Initiative. They were founded in Geneva. The same way you had the Geneva Convention. There are international protocols and treaties that Liberia signed onto when it comes to asset recovery. That's why I tell people, if Joseph Boaga want to be an elder statesman, if he want to appear transparent, turn it over to the same international group, let them spearhead this thing before it be interpreted as a witch hunt. Because
And more to add to what you just said, that's so true. That's why you listen to Dr. Alan White and the document we read the last time. It tells you it will also be in line with international standard. Those are the standards they are talking about. Those are written standards that you sign up to. And that's what they're telling you. Nobody's just going to just jump on you and do anything to you just because they hate you. Everything that they're going to do, it has to be followed by international standard. It must meet those standards. That's why in the appointments of the court, the judges, about 8, the first 3 that are going to be the trial in the trial chamber. One will be appointed by Liberia, the United Nations, and ECOWAS. The 8, one will be appointed by Liberia, by U.S. government, United Nations, ECOWAS, and African Union. If that's not international, then what is that? Out of 8 judges, only 2 LeBron Gono.
Yeah, we come from Liberia. So why you think they cover the other 6?
The other 6, not only that they are going to be appointed by international organizations, but also the government of the United States. This is not a joking matter. This is not like a witch hunt or people going to be, looking for people because they don't like. Well, Steve, want to see something because we are about to leave.
Well, Mr. Kane, you're right. This is to take away any kind of witch hunt or any kind of bias.
Yeah.
Because if we were to leave it just in the Liberian system hand, people could be intimidated, people could be influenced, the process could be skewed, or there could be some bias going on, based on different factors. So bring in independent people who have no party to this, who will not say, because me, I'm from Nima, so I got to go against the people who from Grand Gine. Me, I'm from Lofa, so I got to go against the people who from Maryland. No, it will be clear. And people who not know you, not get no interest in you. You can't make your case. If it's clear, you go your way. If the evidence mounted
Go ahead. You say
mounted against you, meet the conviction standard, you will be convicted. Charles Taylor tried to get out of the same thing. Other people, they've done it before. So I don't understand why is this pushback, the reject, and the grandstanding, and the playing games and all the other extra. I just don't get it. Go ahead, Mom.
Let me give you the G's about this thing, about the whole international standards and protocol that govern every aspect of government. In 2015, one of the reasons Muhammadu Buhari was elected, the Nigerian people thought, he was president in the 80s, right? The same Buhari. It was his second term coming in recent time. He was noted for clamping down on corruption. He was noted for going after people. But time has changed. We live in the technological world now where people can just click a button, you can transfer money from bank to bank, right? So one of the primary reasons for which Buhari was elected, people thought he could apply the same standard he used in the 80s, not knowing that different protocol, they had international way of recovering assets. So Buhari put a team together. In his mind, he thought they were independent because the Nigerian, they did a study that under the leadership of Jonathan Goodluck, more than 150 billion, I'm not saying million, I say billion with a B, left from Nigeria to other Western countries. They were naming places and countries that money is hiding right now, that people put money, that they stack their cash. The same thing happened in Nigeria. So Buhari wanted to use the same old 1980 old school method. People said, no, that's not how it works these days. You need the international support to recover assets. So you know what he did? The very first thing Buhari did, he dispatched a team straight to the White House to meet Obama to get the U.S. support in recovering stolen assets. Let me tell you the fun part. Buhari idea that the very people, Buhari had no idea the very people he put on a asset recovery team were also criminals. When he came to the White House, they gave him a list of international transactions that went on in Nigeria in terms of money laundering. Guess what? The very thing Buhari brought to America in the Obama White House, he saw more than 9 of them on the list that also stole from Nigeria. They said he would get recorded for a cup of coffee inside sleeping really living room in the couch in the White House. And since he went back, he never talked about asset recovery again. The whole presidency came to an end. It just tells you that.
So Steve, something I just wanted to bring to you guys' attention. This SKTV LRB also now has the option to subscribe. And some of our people just subscribe to it without me, me saying anything to them, me announcing it. 3 of them. There were other people who did already, but there are 3 beautiful ladies that have been supporter of SKTV. Maybe I don't know whether they want me to call their name or not, but they already did the subscription. So if you are on here, by the time you come on, you're going to see on the far left button on your phone, you're going to see the sign that says subscribe. So you can subscribe to it. We had an option to change the price for it from $4.99, like $5 to up to $10. But we say we want to remain with the $5 option. So if you want to have a monthly subscription to SKTV, which will also give you a leverage to be not an insider or a stakeholder, and somebody who will have a lot of leverages and other things, you can subscribe to SKTV on Facebook. SKTV subscription on Facebook just costs you $5 a month. And subscription on YouTube is free unless you also choose to make a monthly commitment on YouTube. But as it stands right now, the subscription on the Facebook is right there on your screen. Some people already did. So if you have the chance, you can just subscribe to it.
You talk about subscription, you just remember one of my senior brother, he called me personally. He said, but man, I can really enjoy the show. The show is very informative. I said, but why you didn't sign up? He said, no, I don't trust the technology. I won't send the money directly to Sekou Day to come and be on the show. So he said, anytime you impress me, I got my 150. I won't subscribe for the first 2 years. I mean, 2.5 years. So
no problem.
When I come to the city, I will call you to pick up the money. I want to give it to Sekou directly because that technology can't believe me.
Yeah, so okay, somebody said we should raise it to $10. No, $5 people have to subscribe. We'll raise it to $10, that's not cool. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, that person won't bring noise in the town.
No, but the thing is, we're not the one that processing that. You see that Facebook is the one that processing all these things. So it's legit 100%. As a matter of fact, we don't even get to know your credit card. All we can see, we can even see your name.
That person who told my raise it to $10 won't bring noise in the town. Yeah. You know, bring noise in the
somebody said they will just the name. They don't care.
Okay.
So somebody say I killed the story. No, Mom was done. Mom was talking about.
No, I was done. I get give the message.
Mom was done. Somebody said I killed Mom. Where did you stop?
Man, I think I completed the whole thing.
I think you completed everything you were
saying.
saying.
The man said anytime he come to the city, he will call me.
No, not that one. This person was enjoying the historical perspective.
Oh, the Buhari. Yeah, they say when Obama gave Buhari
the Buhari story.
You know the
financial. You concluded.
You know the financial system for the entire global war was set up by our guys here. So it like they gave me the whole structure, the whole architecture design of the thing. That's why I tell people, it took me a while to understand the Swift banking system. My initial thought was when they say Swift banking system, I thought that it was money moving from one bank to another. Yeah, they can transfer the money, but at a later date. What they do is they send messages on the node, on the network, that money is leaving from one account to another. So it's just like you sending text message, like I send text message to Sekou and Sekou text message Steve. That's what that Swift system is all about. But it's financial transaction, giving you the receipt, who is coming from, where it's going to get a message. So when Buhari saw the list, he saw the various people who claim to be independent to do the investigation. I think they say there were 9 of them on that on the.
So on our list.
So when Buhari saw the list, he got weed. They said he requested for 1 cup of coffee. I think he peed a little bit. He used the bathroom. He started sleeping right in the living room in the couch in the west wing of the warehouse. And when he woke up, he went back to Nigeria. That was the end of asset recovery. He never pursued asset recovery again because no need to fight this. I can't make it. It's not the 80s. We live in the technological age now. It's a whole different thing.
So Mo, let me tell you a funny thing. Speaking of that's what they call it, Swift code.
Yeah, the Swift banking system.
The Swift banking system. So one of my friends in New Jersey, the wife sent the daughter to do some transaction for her, $10,000. And she said she sent the money. She said she did a wire transfer, but she did not send the money. She could not with her boyfriend and the screw
pass
her
around the money. They said the pass around
they screwed the mother. And then what they did the transaction halfway and screenshot that to make it look like they completed the transaction. Yeah. So the guy called me and said, tell me the wire transfer receipt. Because I've been doing wire transfer for forever. So the guy said, but I said I can do it right on my phone. I don't even have to go to any computer. Just send it to me. Let me see what's going on. So I look at the thing, Monk. It will interest you that because if you put in the information, they can tell you to put in the address with a business, the address of the business, your banking information, and the address for that bank, and other information for the bank. So they did it halfway, but they didn't send it. But yeah, those information were available. I said, this is easy. The woman is saying she didn't get the money. And the daughter says she sent the money. Let's call the bank. Man. The daughter said, no, you don't have to call the bank. I don't let it come up here. You got to trust people. I said, we don't want to make sure.
You know what's up.
We don't want to make sure. So we called the bank. The bank said, no, the transaction was initiated, but was not concluded. And the bank sent us receipt, the time it happened, the minute, the date, and the bank even said we want the IP address where the computer it came from. They can give it to us. So that was when we were telling the people yesterday that all the money that they transferred, the people didn't get all the information on there. The team that was joke.
What Mr.
you do? So long as it's electronic, you got no control over it. As a matter of fact, there's something called delete is not delete. Maybe some of you don't know that. All the things you can do in your phone or in your computer, or things
you delete it.
No, it's not deleted. It's just deleted from your phone. It's just deleted from your phone. But it's still not deleted. It's there. If they want it, they can put it up.
On the carrier network.
Yeah.
It's still there.
The person that provides the provider, the network that providing you that opportunity to use their system, they have it. So you can delete it. It can be deleted from your phone. Common people will not just get it. Other people will not get it. But if that institution is requested to provide any information, even though you think you have deleted it, it's there.
But even on your own personal phone, right? When you delete it, they still give you the access to retrieve deleted information, but only to a particular extent.
Up to 30 days.
And after that, the network still got it, keeping it, still got it stored.
Yeah, that means they get it. They say you still have access to it. up to the X amount of time. You
Yeah.
still want it. You want it now, you got to go through that.
Yeah, through that procedure, their laws.
Yeah.
Well,
So people that in Liberia, there's someone that don't know what's going on.
in as much that the conversation is very interesting, Mr. Kana, maybe later on you should find
So,
time.
so there's a lady here that says she doesn't have Cash App. But if you have Zelle, you can do that. If not, I don't know where you are. If you have Zelle, you can do Zelle. You can do Cash App, you can do Cash App. Oh, and your name, Houghton. Yeah, if you want to donate, let us know. You can do Zelle. If you don't have Cash App, you can do Zelle. You don't have Zelle, we have other means. You can just get to us. We'll help you, we'll tell you exactly how you can contribute. Yeah. So yes, Steve and Monk, you guys had a great show, just like. And today was or is the birthday of Wanga Reeve.
My bro.
Yeah, and she's one of those,
yeah,
big supporter of SK TV. So we want to take this time to say happy birthday to her. Wish her life, wish her success, and we wish her health, good health, and prosperity. I want to say thank you to Wanga and her family. I want to say happy birthday to you. Hopefully, the team will post her picture on our, platform. We don't do it for everybody. Sometimes we do for other people. Sometimes we don't even know. You gotta let us. You gotta inform us. Somebody actually informed us about her birthday today. She didn't do it, but somebody else did. One of our key, person on this platform. She informed us about it, and that's when we try to, send a shout out to her. So happy birthday to Wanga. We, hope you are enjoying, and we wish you all the best. Steve, I just wanted to add that, Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. Happy birthday to Wanga. I hope Senator Darrell will use the opportunity to apologize to her, but I don't have that expectations of him.
Was she the one?
She was the one. Yeah, I can remember.
Yes, she was the one, Darrell Dillon, who was watching the show, insulted, attacked, and the interesting part: women advocates and other people who are passing around who support them. I've never even mustered the courage to call him out or to even ask him to do what is right, including
people.
And she contributed to his campaign too.
Including his political leader, including his government boom political leader, Yomri Kanga Lawrence, who is political.
Let me call it Senator government boom, man.
She is a government boom. Dillon is a government boom, and I stand by it because it's a fact. They have no party. They're not leader for anyone.
So you have no party, that means government boom?
Yeah, you government boom. Why yeah? You have no party, government boom. You say government boom too. Because you associate with any party.
I'm not a politician.
Yeah, but I'm a government boom. Why born in Monga government boom too?
So we're not government boom. We're not running for anything.
Yeah, so okay, the politician who not you see now you're not making fun. You see, you are dodging the definition, but you even clarify it to the Liberian people. You are dodging the definition of government boom. So they have not even mustered the courage to apologize to this lady or for Yomdi Kanga Lawrence to even call him out on it. But hey, these things are not strange to me. They're not surprising. But happy birthday to you, Wanga. And wish you the best. But Mr. Kane, I wanted to let you know, maybe you follow it or you didn't follow it. Maybe later on tonight when we're bringing it fast for you to watch your boy Moluba Molu. He's saying advocate now.
Moluba being advocate the whole time.
You're not politician, advocate now.
It may be advocate for the whole time. It may be advocate just for CDC.
No, the man tell advocacy now to the street. The man got us on the point. No. The man got someone a yellow t-shirt and the partner right in yellow. They call it says stand.
Yeah, but they set themselves up for 2029. Who told you that? They think CDC can come back.
When we tell the Liberian people to say the thing we're talking, we're not letting them.
They think CDC can come back, and you never know. That's Liberia. Anything is possible.
Look, Mr. Kane, behind closed door, I've told you.
Anything is possible.
Behind closed door, I've told you. In public, I want to say it. I can pass I can't pass anything when it comes to our people. They can do anything and everything. And that's why I've taken the stage. They like it, they can kill each other. They like it, they can hurt each other. They like it, they can bounce around. I know I will not. My father
I want you to take that one from there.
My father will not, but I what I would do. That's exactly what I would do to each other.
Well,
Yes.
we shouldn't say that.
Oh, but I can say, Mr. Kind of how you say you can say
We
that.
shouldn't tell them they should kill each other, my man.
No, I'm not telling that. I'm saying if they like, they can do it. If they
Yeah,
like,
well, you can say something else. You don't have to say that. The killing part of it, just forget about the killing part.
but that's the fact.
You
That's
can
what
say they like, they can do whatever they want to do each other. You don't have to say the word.
no,
killing
I don't want to be. I don't want to be generic. I want to be
No.
specific. In my thing, what I say.
My
They
man, you are on the media, man. You're on the social media.
Well, that's exactly what they're going to do. That's exactly what they're doing to each other. Okay, for example, they feel this. They mock a woman. They mock that old woman. Did I kill that old woman? So what in that's strange? You won't make it sound like that something that you prohibited. That's something
not for them, but for our platform. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, then that's understandable. But when you say I can't say it because of them, that's
exactly what you show a different way.
If they like anything they want to do to each other, let them do it.
Exactly.
Anything, including killing each other, hurting each other, let them do it.
You know, Sekou, there was an article written by the Front Page Africa, right, about two former warlocks from within the Ulimo K that were going on a trial. So the people who keep making the case that they are international, they are our domestic law trumps international law, and they won't be caught in Liberia or to pursue war crimes. So by which international law that these other guys are going on no persecution right now? They talk about one Aliou Kossa.
Aliou Kossa that went to that was jailed in Switzerland. Aliou Kossa, that's a former Ulimo person. Yeah, go ahead. Mom,
Yes,
we're not hearing you.
Hello?
Yeah, you were breaking. We're not hearing you.
Oh, yes. So my thing is, the people who believe that they can get off the thing, they can go scot-free, I really don't know. They should be living in fantasy because they are already victims of war crimes code, like the two guys we just mentioned from Ulimo. So whether it's the Chaston and other people that have been going through trial with this international code, I don't know how the lag of Prince Johnson and the Yaya Nimnen and the Abachi of the world believe that people can be prosecuted for the very same crime, but they are going to walk scot-free. I really don't know where they're coming up with that, because there are a lot of individuals who can name that have been facing international tribunal as well for war crimes in Liberia. Yep. I'm going to stop there for today, and I think that's it, right? I don't know how far you're taking it.
So today we got three new subscribers. I want to say thank you to them. Congratulations to you guys. So if you want to subscribe, when you click on it, it will tell you the incentives that come with this. Will you be a subscriber to SKTV? So just so you know, you can do that. Go ahead, Steve.
No, like I was saying these guys are giving themselves a hard time. They are giving themselves a hard time. Whether they go to the sky, they come back, certain things are already in play, and there is no way they're going to revert. You know, I was listening to reading a document about this whole Bin Laden raiding. And it would interest you to know that a lot of things happen behind closed door and under cover. A lot of things. And so the Abachio, the whoever else that want to be part of this, that want to be part of the playing the games, that's fine. It's not a problem. It's just that it's going to catch up with you. It is going to catch up with you, because not only that you're exposing yourself, it is going to be a problem for you. So keep playing games, keep exposing yourselves. It's not an issue. There is nothing wrong. It's your right. It's your right to play games. It's your right to expose yourselves. It's also your right to do what you think is in your interest at this time, as opposed to what should be in the interest of the nation or your partner then, or your people then in the Senate, because that's exactly what you guys are doing. You're trying to shield each other, and you're trying to evade accountability and justice. That's exactly what you're trying to do.
So to our readers, followers, and members of this platform, we have started something maybe some of you have followed, or maybe some of you are not following it. We have been somehow putting into black and white some of the things we can say on this platform. For the past few days, we've been updating it. The same questions we've been asking, the same questions we're asking here on here. We have been writing, but they say in Liberia, you want to have something from Liberia, major put it in a book. So most of our people, they gravitate towards the video part of the show.
Yep.
But there are people too that like to read.
Yep.
So that when they miss the show, they don't have enough time. So we can sum up, summarize the entire conversation sometime. We get some conversation and put it out there so that the government and other people can get the message even before we come here. And if they don't listen to the show, they will have the opportunity to read. So more, I don't know whether you've been following, but lately we've been, posting stuff.
Yep.
And then there's the complaint we were getting to about some challenges some of our reporters were facing in terms of writing. So we are also working on that, making sure that most of our posts meet professional standard.
Yeah, we'll get some AI tools for our guys in Liberia so they don't have to do too much writing. The AI will just generate the text.
Yeah, so it's easy, but people that just started writing, it's one of those young people, but we say kudos to them. They're trying.
Yeah, they are trying their best.
It takes time.
But
even some of those write up too, a lot of people. And do you know that if you write and you are to the point, do you know that those people, they can even be scared to come and debunk you or to come and write under it?
No, they won't do that.
Because they have nothing to argue about. They cannot write back efficiently to convince anybody, especially if you writing and pointing to the facts, and you are discussing substantive matter. And for them, it's all about insulting. When they see nothing to insult you on, they just do your pass. But other people, what I noticed, Mong, I just want to say this. Before and after the Alan White interview, I saw some new followers from non-Liberians. And some of them, they didn't just come, they can come and like. So I follow some of them. Some non-Liberian, non-African. So those information that we can put out there are a lot of other people that they can just read and pass. But you can read it. Some of them, they will screenshot it, they keep it, or send it to other people. So we have decided to keep updating the page. We're writing. As we do the video every day, we're also going to be writing things, information. You got something they want to share, let us know. Give it to us. If you can put in black and white, we will do it for you. As long as the information is authentic. We don't just speculate false information. I just wanted to add that.
So, Mr. Hakan, I just wanted to add this, that, I know Monk spoke of what is AI, some of the phones or the gadgets some of these guys have back home. We are definitely working on ensuring that your contributions that you send here, would compensate for those things to be able to take care of. Because quite honestly speaking, those younger guys are doing the best. But when it comes to what are the gadgets they're using, some of them are they're old school. Let me use that word. And they need to be updated. And you guys know that to get a good working, I'm not talking about the phones they get back home, no disrespect to them, but to get a good working phone here, it costs a lot, especially in terms of the gigabytes. And then we got to be ensuring that they have minutes on their phones to do this. The other time we raise money for the tripods, the jackets, or whatever it is, then some of them are requesting to have the most recent technology, such as the iPads and other things that we'll use, to do videos, to do the one, to do that one. All of these different things, we take them into consideration and we're working on them. And to ensure that we get some of the software to ensure that they can, let's take, for example, different people use different software to double check their spellings and other things. And all of these things, we want to ensure that they have it to their disposal, so that when they are communicating on a page, you're not coming back together with us to say, oh, why I wrote that today? The other spelling and letters. And we like your feedback. We like your comments. We do. But to address some of these things, you help us with your contribution and so forth and all that extra stuff. So thank you for your contribution. Thank you. Whether you subscribe or you do this or you do that, just note that the monies are not going to our pockets. They help facilitate some of these things. They do. Mr. Khan, I just wanted to make sure I add that.
Yeah, that's good.
To make
And
sure
before we close up, I wanted to talk about something because we started the conversation day before yesterday with the whole disruption and how technology is changing the way how we live, especially for the banking system, the money transfer and things that happen in 5 African countries from South Africa to Ghana and Nigeria, Liberia, the Africa Coast. And we're talking about the people that control these things, right? And the implication. We talk about how this same AI is going to disrupt jobs moving forward. Last night, again, I think we talked about the other side. The same Elon Musk corporation or company they call Neuralink, they come with something called the BCI, the brain computer interface, wherein you will go and put a chip into your brain so that any activity that you want to engage into, just the matter of thought, and that will happen. And it will even be for people with disabilities, say kids that were born with autistic syndrome, lack of speech, that they would be able to make the brain to work with that chip to replace those lost capacity or abilities. So let's assume that if you were to download a chip into your brain and the kid has speech impediment, that will solve that problem. When they have language interpretation skills, using the neurons in the brain, that's how far Elon Musk want to take us.
You know they try it. I follow that story.
They tested it already. They tested it.
Yeah, they tested it and it worked.
And I was thinking something. I took it forward because I was thinking about Steve. Some of the intern, right? What they talk about?
Man, I know now. Now I know that. I'm not the only person who like the research and reading.
Oh no!
If I'm doing nothing, I always know that I always
every day
reading.
For me, it's every day.
You got to inform yourself.
Yes, that's it. You got to know what's going on to know exactly how to move. People say, "Oh, you don't read." You don't read because you want to know everything. You will not know everything, but you just want to keep yourself informed. So when you see things happen, you know exactly what's going on. That's why we force you to do this kind of a research. And that's the territory we are going into now. That even when it comes to education, yesterday, Steve, you talk about software. That's why people are questioning education moving forward and whether it will make sense to even send your kid to college in the future based on the career they want to pursue. Because if you got software that can write a term paper or can write a research paper for you without tapping a single word, the question is, now we are coming up with chips that you can download in the brain and put any information. Whether, let's say you had deficiency in mathematics and there was a program loaded to that chip, now you become a math waste. The question is, will you be willing now to send your child to college when you already got a chip in the brain that can do everything that the college can even dream of? That will be the discussion to set the platform for Monday's edition before we get to the politics.
Well, more in the context of that, most recently there have been different. I did some kind of training at one of the hospitals. They even have robots now to do the medication dispenser, to take one medication from one station for the nurses and the doctors, So they're doing away with technicians and other things in order for the hospital to save money. And it will interest you that the robots, they're very sensitive. When they get to the elevator and they detect that human beings in the elevator from a certain feet, they will stop and wait. That elevator got to be clear of human presence before they can get into the elevator. Not only that, it will interest you to also know that when they get into those places, when they get into that medication room, they're programmed to be able to know exactly the codes to put in to open that medication dispenser, and it will double check itself to tell you that another human being putting the medication in, to double check and so forth. So it is getting interesting daily. But I'm also fascinated by the fact that they're even thinking about robots conducting surgeries.
But I was just about to say, you talking about medication, dispensing medication. The people are talking about robot doing heart transplant. that the
Yes.
doctors will not be involved. The robot will be the one to perform the surgery. I mean, hands free from doctor. That everything will be programmed. That they're the one will be the one transferring heart from one human being to another. So you're talking about medicine. That's the lower end of the whole thing of the AI. Like AI is really going to change the way how we live moving forward. That's what I'm saying. I keep telling people the whole
So
thing that
Steve, one of our men, Roland called. You said something that you want to. He's actually working with something like that right now. You want to tell us?
Yeah,
No.
let me say.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, you're live on SKTV.
Okay, Monsieur le Président, Steve, how
What's
you
up?
doing?
Asuba, bro.
Yeah, good morning, my Republican brother.
what up?
Monday, la tombe.
Steve, you're just talking about the robot. Yeah, right now we're using those robots at the hospitals to replace the pixies. For example, when you go on a university campus, you see the little robot that delivering foods from Jimmy John's to the dorms and stuff like that. We have it in the hospital. So what we do? Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Yeah. We do. You will load the pixies, you will load the robots, and the robot will go load the pixies on the units. So I mean, technology moving so fast. And somehow we're thinking about moving these stuff to Africa, especially like Liberia, be one of the countries, been around for so long. And then, a lot of things happening now, a lot of things.
Roland, and you, and let me ask you this, maybe more will help to answer this question. Do you think these things can be effective in Africa, in places that we don't have stable electricity?
Actually, few countries in Africa, like Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, South Africa, these things can work. Because Cote d'Ivoire, you have 24/7 electricity. I live there, I grew up there, I went to school there. But places like Liberia, we really need to work hard. We really need to leave the political thing. Every morning we wake up for politics. The president want to do this. We really need to think of the population. Because our population growing. Come 2050, Liberia will be about 9 to 10 million. So we need to move from, just focusing on these aspiring politicians like abattoirs and move the direction of the young people, try to educate the young people because come 2050, trust me, if your population are not competitive, they can compete, and the whole thing about technology too is good and bad because it's like cutting jobs, because at the hospital, you have people who used to go fill the pixies and stuff like that. But now the robot will be doing all the jobs. So you show up. So when you program the robot will go to the CT safe, the narcotic safe, take the drugs or go to the 200 fast moving drugs and just go and deliver it to the nursing units. Then the nurses can go and access them. So it's good and it's bad. The rich people will keep on being rich, and there'll be no middle class. So it's dangerous for us, Yeah.
Wow.
But Sekou, I want you to do a favor for our audience. You're talking about it's not only in advanced country, right? Right in Ghana, drones are delivering medical supplies to hospital. I just gave you a 4-minute video and just a
Ghana?
In Ghana, right to your next door neighbor. They are delivering medical supplies using drone right in Ghana at the moment. And like you said, it's not only about electricity, it's about the connectivity issue, the network, and the technology that's been like the platform as well, the whole infrastructure. So I just sent you a short video right in Accra.
I'm talking about Ghana, right? Ghana is building one of the biggest hospital, like modern hospital in West Africa, where you have people from John Hopkins, from U of A, from UCLA, people going over there to train.
Mom, what you sent me is it took me to YouTube.
Yeah, it's a YouTube link. Yeah, that's it. It's a medical drone company. They just launched a branch in Ghana.
Okay.
And they are delivering medical supplies.
You want me to play it for the audience?
Yeah, for the audience. Let them see. That's why we keep talking about Liberia, and the thing is about politics. Like we way behind. So just for people to get an idea of the thing happening around them, around the country.
So I'm gonna play right now. Rolling, want to stay to say something, or you want to go? It's up to you.
Oh no, man. I just want to say thank you
Okay.
To our SKTV family, thank you for all what you guys do. You guys are credible. That's why we follow you guys all the time. My man Monk, I want to see your face. I want to see who you are.
Man, you forgot about the whole Donald Trump solidarity, man. But thank you.
Yeah, let man call me. Man, call me. You got my man. Usually I
I'll get a man number to you so you can call him, man.
I'll get a number from Steve. There's a project. I think you'll be good on that project. You call it the. But I will send it to you. I want to say it here.
All
There's
right.
a new project that's going to be replacing that whole internet thing. That thing that happened in Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, and South Africa. There's a recipe here, but it needs some young, brilliant African guys to work on that thing. So if you want, we can.
Yeah, I can connect you and the man if you stop the Donald Trump solidarity.
Donald Trump, our man. I've been calling Donald Trump since 2006.
All right, Roland, my man, thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
So let's do this. You guys seen it?
Yep.
So the rapping,
Yeah, that's blood and other important supply as well. You know, it's not in women control. Red next do.
Ghana.
They're loading it now for delivery.
Wow. People do their own thing, man.
And that's almost everywhere in the country. They just program using the same GPS system and just program the drone and it's going to deliver it to the exact address. All the medical supply that they need at a hospital.
But Monk, to even have GPS working fluidly, essentially in Ghana, that tells you that the people are ready. The people are thinking way ahead.
Yeah, way ahead. It's gone. You see it leaving?
In Africa, not in Europe.
Yeah, that right.
They just press the button.
They're gone.
Yeah, they call it zip line.
So they're not going to
What
Wow.
are Accra, Kumasi, or
Anywhere in the country, just give the exact address, and because you're using GPS coordinates, so those things will be able to fly there and just deliver it to the hospital based on the address that you program in that on that drone and the coordinates the way you program it. That's it.
Wow, what on the law? Maybe they say that they're making excuses for a kind of
We even get first dollar in the state capitol building.
But when you go to the homes, they build it nicely. But the office what they go to is trash. And somebody will say that sweat.
All right, guys, we'll leave it there for today, man.
Folks, and I know demon.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the devil. Just apply yourself and do what is right.
Yeah.
Once you apply yourself and do what is right, the country benefits and you attract serious-minded people to invest. Now, whatever is going on in Ghana, it's a huge job creation for other people. The girl that was programming that thing, she making money to sustain her family, or the lady, I mean, you know. So all of these things, when we say it in the long run, is for our people to benefit. It's not for them to be in line for politicians to decide if they will give you the small thing because you supported them, or if they will put small thing on your card so that you can come and disagree with people who want to speak the right thing to you know. It's not for that.
Be cutting rape into hemp and palaho, you be cutting development.
Yeah. And the president follow you, your one police station, they got someone a little boot there.
On a little boot, they got a lot of boot.
And everybody surround the president. That's the kind of myopic way of thinking, middleclassy. What other people are thinking long and far. You ever saw Nana Ado standing over there for that guy to fly that thing? No, because they passed that level.
Yeah.
They passed that level. The people are thinking about, they're innovative, they're thinking about the next 2-3 generations. Aricos right over there, they dedicated that big big place. Look, there's a kind of in Aricos, the people are building that train, that railway from Yamoussoukro to Abidjan. And that small investment they are doing. They're taking their country far off. And you know what? Tomorrow, some will talk about what they went to do, in what a place in Aricos. Some will discuss it. We're even told now that if you're not careful, I will come and call it let. So I don't know how you manage. You in a country, people, and when we say this thing, you think we hate the government, we hate somebody.
So what you guys were discussing earlier, somebody sent us a video, like a recollection of, I think from Taylor. Someone sent a video about Dicey, who was the lady who was born God's daughter, and she was married to the Adolphus Benedict.
Yeah,
Talbot.
mm-hmm.
They used to call him A.B. Talbot, like we said. But somebody sent me a video. I don't think we have the time to play that video today. Maybe we can play another time.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Unless you come to play, I can play. I don't care.
How long is the video?
I don't know. Let me.
Yeah, check the timestamp so we know the time to know how long it's going to be.
It's only 6 minutes.
Yeah, let's
play. Yeah, we can do 6 minutes.
All right, let's do it. They say let's do it. The people say let's do it. Me, I want to do
it. Our people can support also. Any information on how to get in, we can point in 6 minutes and do it quick.
Yeah, so you guys were the one that actually discussing it. So when I say play, I will play. I ain't got a problem. Let me see. Let me make sure. Sometimes too, when people send me these messages and I'm not. How to do this? All right. Do you guys hear it? No, not yet. No, I don't think you're hearing it. Are you guys hearing it, my man?
No, I mean, I didn't see it yet either. I mean, I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, okay. Let me do this. So similar thing happened. It was sent to me through Facebook, but it's actually YouTube. So I got to switch. The connection, which one to upload. All right, I think you should see it. You should see it now. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I'm seeing it now.
Okay, so let's play.
Did President Talbot have a son, Mr. Taylor?
Oh, yes, he did. He had a son, and his name was A.B. Talbot Jr.
Was he married?
Yes, he was married.
To whom?
He was married to the goddaughter of the president of La Côte d'Ivoire.
What was her name?
Her name was, well, her name is Daisy. She's still alive. I remember in my statement on yesterday, I mentioned that after the death of Talbot, who was chairman of the OAU, some of the tensions that came up was as a result of him being the chairman of the OAU, but equally so, like Côte d'Ivoire became anxious because of the presence in Liberia still of the president's, what we call it goddaughter, but it's almost in Africa, it's just about your daughter, was also of concern to him, and this was causing more trouble. So he was married to the daughter, I would say.
So the daughter was in Liberia at the time of the coup.
Mhm.
Is that right?
That is correct.
And help us, did anything in particular occur in relation to her?
Oh, yes.
What was that?
On or about the third day of the coup, while we are sitting in the commanding general's office, and I said, why are we? Again, let me just say who we are. I'm there, my fiancé is there, and other members of the council. A lady is brought in, and I still remember very, very clearly, in a very yellow dress, and she appears to be pregnant, and she's fair in complexion, and she's really, really stressed out. And I said, but who is this lady? And they said, oh, this is A.B. Talbot's wife. But I was still in the United States, and I remembered that A.B. Talbot was married to the daughter of the president of La Côte d'Ivoire. And I said immediately, I said, oh, General, we can't touch this woman. Turn her over immediately to the Ivorian ambassador. And quickly he said, okay, fine. And I personally, along with my fiancée, escorted Daisy to the Ivorian embassy, and I turned her over to the ambassador.
And what happened to her after that?
She was immediately thereafter, the president of La Côte d'Ivoire asked permission for an aircraft to come in. He sent in an aircraft, and she was picked up and flown to Abidjan.
And help us. To which country did Doe make his first official over?
Yeah, let me say something real quick, Monk, just to agree with you when you mention of how Ivory Coast was used. Perhaps, I listened to this, but we can now deduce that it was because of some of the stands Castilla took in response to what happened to A.B. Talbot and the way he helped rescue his ex-wife or his wife. Also could be something that Boye considered when he was helping Charles Taylor to enter through Liberia.
Oh yeah, that's the connection. That's the relationship where it's all part of the.
Yeah, because not only that, the other guys, the duo of the art, where they were at the hem of power, but someone who to help was coming to go and see them.
Yes, and
it only got about 3 more minutes left, so let me play 4 more minutes left.
Let's see his trip.
To the best of my recollection, it was to La Côte d'Ivoire.
Now, meanwhile, what happened to Talbot's son?
A.B. Talbot managed to take refuge, apparently, and I must say here apparently because news stories put him at several different places, but finally he ended up at the French embassy accredited near the Capitol. He was there for a very long time. I would say close to about a year, and intelligence reports, and finally, I think it was a cook, and I'm virtually sure, because I'm sure using the word "think" in the transcript may not be proper. I'm sure that a cook at the embassy revealed to a friend that there was something funny at the embassy, that food was being prepared and taken into one section of the embassy, and they had no access, and there were whispers that A.B. Talbot was there. And very sadly and unfortunately, before some of us who knew better could intervene, and quite frankly, I must say General Kouankpa was not a part of this. If not, he probably would have listened. Orders were given, and the French embassy was stormed
By whom?
by orders from the chairman of the council, Samuel Doe. The embassy was broken into against the protests of the ambassador, and A.B. Talbot was taken out of the embassy forcibly, kept at the central barracks prison for several months, and later executed.
Abel.
And help me, as far as you're aware, how did the president of the Côte d'Ivoire feel about the death of his son-in-law?
Oh, quite frankly, our President Houphouët Boigny, and that's one name that I'm going to depend on you guys to do that. It was very, very, not just upset, but sad. Imagine your daughter crying on your shoulder. Her husband has just been taken out and executed. It was a very, 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 very sad picture. In fact, it was very serious, because after A.B. was taken from the embassy, there were pleas to save him from not just the president of La Côte d'Ivoire, but from so many diplomatic sources. But the senior members of the council decided that they would not have any of that, and that their biggest concern was that, in fact, Houphouët Boigny said, well, let me send for him. I gave him to me, and they felt that A.
So I think that part was mainly the part where we wanted to play.
Yes, and Mr. Kane, we started this conversation today about this to remind the Liberian people when we talked about the connections of the Ivory Coast to the Liberian Civil War, as to why some of the reasonings for why some of the rebel leaders or rebels were given access to easily go through the Ivory Coast without any kind of loops or hoop, because these are some of the things that can happen. So we're trying to reference this in regard to Joseph Human Braga most recent visit to the Ivory Coast, that we've called on the government to please tell them exactly why they went there. Since they will not do it, we'll get it from now to tomorrow or day after tomorrow, the benefit of the doubt. The SKTV, then we'll have the conversation. But we wanted to refer them to this particular scenario.
Yeah. I think our boy Melvin Deshiel from Belgium, I think he want to add something to this information.
Okay.
Mr. Deshiel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You are live on SKTV.
Yeah, thanks for your time. But it was very important recording that I heard just now that touched me, because I am a living witness of what happened on that particular day.
Okay.
My house is attached to the French embassy and the American embassy, and I'm in between. On this particular day, it was about between 12 and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I came out to go on the front part on the road, because we live in the back part. And I saw those soldiers with jeeps, 4 jeeps coming in. And I was afraid. So I ran and I hid in the corner because I'm my area, so I know the area well. And I saw the people talking to the man at the gate. And later on, he opened the gate and the soldiers went in. And when they came out, I saw that they brought AB out because AB was a friend of mine. It's somebody that used to take care of us. We who were young, yeah, he used to take care of a lot of young people. So I was actually hurt, and they took AB out of that place. And that's how come we got to realize that they killed AB. This is a story that the cook, just what Charles said, is exactly what happened. The cook, the one that reported this issue. That's how come the people got to know because AB was in that place and we didn't even know AB was in that place. Seriously. We didn't know AB was in that place. And until AB was brought out and carried out by those soldiers. That's one I am a living witness to that. That is part of, I have that into my book. I'm writing a book over the whole thing, my experience in Liberia in the yesteryears. So that is true, what Charles Taylor said. It's all facts because I'm a living witness to that. Thank you.
Wow. What a great piece of history, very deep. That's why we need war crime code in that country because it was not only a betrayal segue, it's a violation of international law that someone will go to an embassy to seek refuge, and you will send a junta there to override that. That's why I think Bonji took that thing personal and he opened the corridors from Africa for insurrection against the Sambia regime because that's a violation of disrespect to another leader of a country. You don't do that.
And the thing, and the funny thing about this thing here is not that they killed the man right after the coup d'etat. The man was in the French embassy for almost a year.
Yeah.
But my concern is that why they decided to keep him there? Why didn't take him out of the country instead?
Well, Mr. Kane, you have to understand.
Knowing how ruthless these guys were, knowing the fact that those guys they put about 11 ministers and government officials on the boat.
Yes.
In South Beach and shot them and killed them alive in cold blood. Seeing all of those things and to still have kept that guy in there, so that was a mistake.
Mr. Kane, but the thing about it also,
they have no respect for anything.
Mr. Kane, you have to understand that, from a strategic standpoint, and maybe from a diplomatic or political standpoint, they couldn't just make the decision to just rush and take him out. This man was the president who they just assassinated's son. On what level they would have taken him out? In fact, he was also attached to the Ivorian president. Now, keeping him in the embassy there, on any soil, the embassy on that soil is that country's space. So, like you said, they violated all laws, all rights. They violated human rights right there by going to that embassy and taking that man out. They should have never done that. You see, these are some of the things, like you said, that infuriated other people. Like you said, you know what it means for you to kill a man's son-in-law while his daughter is still alive and that girl is. Do you really know what it means? So these people did some horrible things. And for us to sit and be alive and not fight for people to account for it, people who participated, people who aided and abetted, then we're not doing justice. Same Prince Johnson took law in your hand because Doe took law in your hand. Then let Prince Johnson be held accountable because he's alive now. Charles Taylor, the same thing is being held accountable. So it's unfair. Charles Taylor came to fight war to liberate Una people. Charles Taylor did that. Oh, if Charles Taylor can be held accountable, Prince Johnson can be held accountable. I listened to some Mano and Gio people, someone that reached out to me talking about, and you and Sekou, you're pushing the war economic crime again. And I meant to tell you last night. I told them, I said, you're in Syria for life. You in America, and you stay slave, you defending somebody who committed that crime. Prince Johnson defended you. Prince Johnson was defending you. Prince Johnson was not defending you because Prince Johnson did not live in Nima County to protect you. Prince Johnson was on Cowell base. He didn't care about you in Nima County. In fact, he killed more intelligent Nimalians. He one of the people that executed them. So how can you say Prince Johnson defended you? And then Prince Johnson come and want to use to his benefit. Why is it that? Say he loved Nima so much, the university in Bay, why he not turning over to the county? And he's still benefiting from it? And he's still collecting money for it? And you're saying Prince Johnson is your hero. Prince Johnson is not no hero. Prince Johnson that killer and rebel. He needs to be held accountable. The same thing with George Bole and other people. They need to be held accountable.
Segu. Hello?
Yes, Mom, go ahead.
There was an old man that gave me some food for thought, and he asked me this question, right? Because we just brought the AB Tubber story. One older man was somewhere sitting down, like in a social gathering, and people were talking the same thing about politics and what happened between the Tubber administration and the war and things that led to the war. He said, my pig, I know you're not born, or maybe you were just born at the time it happened, right? He said, think about this. When Doe came, why Doe accused the Tubber administration of rampant corruption, right? That was the reason they put those men on the pool to popularly execute him. He said, who served as finance minister under President Tubber? I say, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So the question he asked me, he said, if Doe accused the Tubber administration of corruption and even killed people within Tubber cabinet that had no access to the money house, when he mean money house, either talking about the central bank or the finance ministry. So he said, but why Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was spared or he was actually bringing about vengeance against people that looted the state resources at the time? I didn't answer that question. I was so shocked. I never thought about this before. He said, just think about that for 1 second. So I asked him, why are you trying to insinuate? He just told me, my picking, you're too young to understand a lot of things in Liberia, but think about that for 1 second. She was the finance minister. So if you are killing people for corruption, who do you think is more likely to be on that list? 1 and 2. I said, will be the finance minister and maybe the central bank governor. Say, yeah. But your old lady that will escape the wrath of Samuel Doe. So just think about that. I just try to share that when Mr. DeSico and the video we just showed. But anyway, thanks to the audience, and tomorrow, another day.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you so much. My people, we'll see you. Let me make sure, as I've always done. Before I go, I always like to check to make sure that we don't ignore people supporting us. If there's nothing, at least let me check, make sure. Yep. And what else? Yeah, I just want to make sure that everything's good. Yeah, so that's it. Nothing for today. We thank you all for supporting SKTV as always. We'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. Yeah, we'll try to be here tomorrow, hopefully. But thank you for your time. We appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow.